Now we actually are live. Get this. Oh, get myself a little set. See, I'm never really prepared, am I? I'm just never really prepared, and that's okay.
Because it's not showing we're live on my laptop, so let me refresh it.
Okay. All right.
Here we go. Let me turn my volume down. Because it's not showing we're live on my laptop. Okay, there we go.
I hear my crazy self laughing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I muted.
All right. There's this funny, I found this thing over here. Now, I've never used this before, but it's this thing, it's a teleprompter, right? See that right there? And you can just put whatever you want to say on here, and it'll just scroll like a regular teleprompter.
Oh,
now, I'm going to take that off screen because they don't want to see that, right? But this is where you can also put like notes of anything you want to, just go to or whatever. Here's something else I figured out. I know we're just talking about whatever, but that's fine right this minute. So I figured out if we split the screen, now hang on, I don't want to mess this up. But if we split the screen like this, and then I go over here to something else to play like to run a YouTube, to run like a video off of, you can do it this way. Oops, I don't want StreamYard, get off of there. We get YouTube. Yeah. Let's get YouTube. All right, now I'm signing right here. And then I'm going to find a really old video about what we're talking about. Oh, Clutch Them Pearls is on. Well, that's going to suck. I didn't know she was going to come on. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll just keep talking anyway. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know he was going to be on. I call him a she. I'm so sorry. Oh, well. Okay, here. Let me find this old video about this. Okay. Zodiac signs and your dog. All right. Now, how long ago was this one?
You know your name doesn't show your name. It says Zodiac signs and dog breeds under you.
Oh, I know. It's because whenever you put the the little banner thing on about what the name of the show, whatever your show name is going to be about, what you're talking about, that's when that happens. So anyway, and it's okay. I mean, they know what. Oh, you see that cute little puppy? You turn that off. I'm trying to figure out how old was this and how I can make it.
Right.
Okay. Then here's what we're going to do. So we got that over there. That's ready. And we're going to share the screen. All right. Not that one. Stupid ass. Lord. So I'm going to share the screen because we're going to bring that on. So there, it should be right there. But all right, hang on. Oops, stop. Cancel. All right. Now, your browser, blah, 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 blah. No, we're not going to do that now. Here we go. Let me try this one more. Anyway, let me try this one more time. We're going to share the screen over here and get this to talk about these zodiac signs. I was very fascinated by this. Sorry. I was very fascinated about it when I first saw it. I was like, are you kidding me? Because really, it tells you there's 3 different dogs for each zodiac thing. Whatever your zodiac is, there's 3 different dogs that would match you, that they suggest for you. And I thought that was really interesting. So there's that part. But I have to, make this bigger real fast. So, yeah. I'm going to remove her from the stage right now, and then I'm going to move this over. Anyway, we'll just talk for here.
That is interesting.
Anyway, I'll just share that in a minute. I thought it was interesting. Come on, thing. Stop. All right. There we go. Now, just leave that over there. Okay. We're learning how to work it. Going to learn how to work it. But anyway, so when I also learned that there is a zodiac signs for your dogs as well. Like, even though they are born in, let's say your dog is born in August. Yes, it may be almost the same as you, but there's another set of zodiac signs that's actually for dogs. But the names are in a language that I kind of can't read it very well. So it's a little bit different to talk about. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So let me get back over here to the first thing I found. And we'll just go from there. So hope everybody's having a wonderful day, nice weekend. My husband's been home. You know how that's hard. Listen, you love spending time with your family, you do. But when they're home like that with you for days and days, it just interrupts your whole schedule, because I have this whole thing that I do. I get up, have my coffee, go do my workout, but he's in the way. So, God, I should shut up, right? I should shut up. I shouldn't talk about that. Anyway, let me get this to pull back up. Oh, Lord, I hope it's not oh, no, I got really strong internet tonight. Great. All right. Well, I'll wait on this to come up.
Right. When you're used to not being home.
Well,
Yeah.
because he leaves at like 7 o'clock in the morning and he gets home about 5:30 in the afternoon.
It does.
So, and it's perfect. All right. So I'm going to read from this for a second.
You're putting a hitch in the giddy up.
Yeah, it does. It does. Because like I want to do all these different things, but okay, look, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go do that. And he's here. So I feel like I have to tell him what I'm going to do during the day when I'm not used to telling people what I'm going to do during the day. So anyway, it's kind of weird, but all right. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this real quick. It says, have you ever wondered what dog breed matches your astrological vibe? I have, but I picked the wrong one. I'll tell you right now, because my dogs do not match me. Just as every zodiac sign has its unique personality, each dog breed has quirks too. Let's take a walk through the stars and see which pup is your cosmic match. Not cosmetic, but cosmic. So, for an Aries, let's talk about Aries for a minute. Meet the spirited Jack Russell Terrier. These little fireballs are just as adventurous and energetic and fearless as you. They love a challenge and are always ready for the next big thing. Mirroring the Aries, zest for life. Okay, you hear that loud thunder? Woo. Okay, for the next big thing, it goes, the grounded Taurus, a loyal and dependable Labrador Retriever, is perfect as well. Known for their calm and loyal nature, Labs share Taurus's love for the simple joys in life, whether it's food, naps, or relaxing, or a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Geminis. Now, here's this. Gemini, the clever border collie, is your kindred spirit. Just like you, they're incredibly curious, social, and love mental stimulation. Cancers will feel right at home with a gentle Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. This affectionate breed, I guess it's saying in Cancer, you can have the Cavalier Charles Spaniel, that's hard for me to say, and the, what was the first one? There was a different one that said, hang on, I'm getting scaring me, that damn rain out there. Okay, Cancers will feel right at home with this, Cavalier King Charles. This affectionate breed loves to be close to the family and perfectly matches Cancer's nurturing and homebody tendencies. All right, continue over there. So far, let's talk about Leo for a second. Leo, nothing less than a majestic Afghan hound will do. Known for their elegance and flair, Afghan hounds love being in the spotlight, just like you. Now listen to this. This is funny because I'm a Virgo. Virgo, your ideal match is the intelligent and task-oriented German Shepherd. This breed loves order and routine, making them the perfect companion for detail-loving Virgos. But I have Frenchies. It's funny, isn't it? Libras, look no further than the well-mannered Greyhound. They're graceful, gentle, and sociable, reflecting Libra's love for harmony and elegance. Scorpio, your soulmate dog is the enigmatic and fiercely loyal Akitas. Akitas are private, deeply loyal, and protective, just like you. For Sagittarius, a high-energy and adventurous Australian Shepherd fits perfectly. Here's the funny thing about this, though. Now, I've read a bunch of these, and a lot of them say different things. Like this is saying that, the Australian Shepherd fits the Sagittarius. But there's another one that I'm going to show you and read about that says that the Australian Shepherd also fits the Virgo.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of weird. Anyway, so it says they're playful and loving, exploring. The playful, mirroring Sagittarius' wanderlust spirit. Capricorns, with their hardworking and disciplined nature, are best suited to the loyal and dependable Rottweiler. Notice these are all big dogs. Strange, right? These dogs are strong, reliable, and make excellent companions. Well, other than I guess the Greyhound's not big, right? Okay. Aquarius, the unique and quirky Dalmatian matches your individuality. Dalmatians are known for their distinctive spots and independent nature, which mirrors Aquarius's innovative spirits. Pisces, the sensitive and dreamy Shih Tzu. Okay, now the little yappy dog. The Shih Tzu is perfect fit. This breed is gentle, loving, and enjoys being close to their people, much like the empathetic nature of Pisces. So, whether you're considering adopting a pup or just daydreaming, it's fun to know that they're a cosmic canine match for every sign. Now, I'm going to go. Now, there's also, I noticed in different countries, they use, like their dogs are different on the, it's like there's no matching anywhere. All of these different people, whoever's writing these, I guess what I'm trying to say, whoever's writing these, they don't all say the same thing. It's like they don't read each other's material, I guess. They just make it. I don't know where it comes from, but astrology is a very strange science anyway. It's not really a science. I mean, what is astrology? Sprinkle, what is astrology really? I know it's the study of the stars, right? So how can that pick a dog breed? It's got to be something else. Here we go.
Yeah, they are big dogs.
Okay, then it goes over to the Chinese zodiac signs are most compatible with the dogs are the tiger, horse, and rabbit. Now, this is where it gets kind of weird too. These pairings are often based on a sense of loyalty, support, and complementary personalities, with the tiger and the horse seen as energetic partners, and the rabbit offering a supportive and harmonizing influence, right? So here's some compatible signs according to the Chinese zodiac signs. So the most compatible signs, tiger. The tiger and the dog are both powerful signs that create a strong partnership. They can be great friends and allies. Horse. Like the tiger, the horse is highly compatible with dog, forming a supportive and loyal team. They work well together. Hey, there's my buddy. Hey, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan, this is Sprinkled. That's Ryan, my son right there. So anyway, hey, how you doing, buddy? So good to see you. You know, it's pouring down rain here, and I'm hoping we don't lose our electricity. But anyway, so then we're going to talk about. We were talking about the horse. So they work well together and have a loyal, a lot of mutual respect. Then there's the rabbit. The dog and the rabbit create a harmonies and supportive relationship. The dog's protective nature and the rabbit's gentle, sensitive nature complement each other. So considerations for pairings. Now, this is where it talks about the dog with those. In individual elements, compatibility can be further refined by considering the elements associated with your birth year. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Now, my son's watching the A&M game. Well, I'm so glad you came over to listen to us too. Thank you so much. Now, Ryan has the most beautiful Chinese crested baby. Oh, she's beautiful. Well, I sent a picture to you of when I picked her up with him. She's just gorgeous. Okay. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to get onto this link where it talks about this compatibility and about that. So we're just going to do a little deeper and deeper into this and see where it leads us, because I think we're going to have a little bit of a deep dive here going. So the Chinese zodiac signs. So and this is talking about the year of birth. So your rat, if you were born in 1936, 1948, 1960, I'm a rat, 1972, 1984, 1996, 2008, or 2020. Yeah. So are you also a rat? No, you don't have to say that. Never mind. You don't have to say that. Ox. An ox is from 1937, 1949. Oh, don't do that. 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, and 2021. So I'm not going to read all the years. We're just going to talk about it for a minute. So we have the rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, okay, the snake. You think you're the dog? Let me check and see. There's the snake, the horse, the goat, the monkey, the rooster. You're probably the rooster, baby.
Snake,
I'm just joking, Ryan. The dog is actually 1982. You are correct. Ryan is from the dog. And pig is then there's the pig. So the year of the dog in the personalities. Okay. Dogs are man's best friend. And those born during the year of the dog. There you go. We're talking about Ryan now. That's kind of interesting. So, year of the dog lives up to that reputation. Dogs are known for their affable, loyal, and fun-loving personalities. You want a BFF. Yes, you do. I'm hearing noise.
Yeah, I am too.
I wonder what that is. Okay.
Like a crackle. I'm hearing a crackle.
Like a crackling noise. Yeah. That's so strange. Okay. I hope it's not the weather affecting us. So I'll just keep going.
Exactly.
So. Yeah. So find a dog. Dogs will always be your biggest cheerleader, but they also need a lot of encouragement. Dogs prefer to work on a team rather than truly take the lead, but don't let them make you think that dogs don't have star power too. Some famous dogs include Madonna, Queen Latifah and Justin Bieber. Dogs are reliable and protective, but also are quite frank and aren't afraid to speak their mind, even though love from a dog feels supportive. And once you're in with a dog, you're in for life. Interesting. So what are dogs like in love? Well, we're not just picking on you. It's just that it's talking about dogs here. Okay, Ryan. So just bear with us for a minute. Dogs. Okay. So it goes, which is most compatible? So there's a cheat sheet for compatibility in the Zodiac. It's something called triangles of affinity. Now, I've heard other people talk about this triangles of affinity, but it was in talking about charting humans, right? Okay, so these are 4 groups of 3 signs who are most compatible with each other based on their temperament and other elemental qualities. Dogs are most compatible with their fellow quickwits, tigers, horses, and other dogs. Beyond the animal sign, compatibility can also depend on the element year you were born in, and then you find yours there. Though dog and ox might not be the most obvious match, dogs born in 1994 and oxen born in 1985 share a wood element, okay? And thus have more in common than these 2 signs normally would. Here's a more detailed look at how the dog interacts in the Zodiac and the Chinese Zodiac. It's very interesting here. Dog and tiger are a match made in heaven. Dog brings a noteworthy lack of ego to any relationship, while tiger brings a protect them at all cost energy. Both are extremely loyal partners. While they're super supportive, they also both have a keen sense of right and wrong. Together, these 2 create their own utopia of kindness, a place where many would want to live. Dog and horse are both straightforward and frank. That's dog sign. Okay, so Queen Latifah with her longtime partner, Evan Nichols, are both born in the year of the horse. There's no guessing game with these 2. All feelings are immediately on the table and communication just flows. Ryan's going, woof, woof. I know you like Justin Bieber. You always have, dude. Then it goes, so we talked about that. Go back over here. Making me lose my place, baby. Hang on. Being extremely loyal, dog can convince the more freedom-oriented horse to settle down. Dog, in turn, is inspired by horse's outgoing personality. Together, these 2 are charming and tender and love a warm, cozy home. Then it goes how it matches dog and rabbit, right? So the dog and the rabbit are another awesome couple. Their more introverted dog is attracted to the rabbit's playful charisma. Dog takes things seriously, while rabbits have a more whimsical view of life. Together, dog and rabbit build a relationship based on honesty and mutual attraction. One thing that couldn't get in their way is that dog, who is in awe of rabbit's Hoy de Boer, whatever that is Hoy de Vivre, or whatever, may not realize how insecure rabbit can be. Steadfast loyalty is what lets rabbit know this relationship is a safe place. It kind of gives these numbers like 8 out of 10 matches, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, things like that. And it goes on and on. You know, like with the dog and the monkey can be matched, but they're like an 8 out of 10. Or dog and duck can be matched, but they're a 7 out of 10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back now and I'm going to find that other website that I had about dogs and people and the star. Hang on, go back over here. Woo. All this stuff saved here earlier. Here we go. Remember, I sent it to you. I'm like, okay, now I get all nervous. I lose my place and everything else. It's kind of crazy. I know. For fun, you can also look at your dog's, like your dog's zodiac sign. Like my dog was born in when was the what? Well, May. So Jack, he was born in May. So let's check that out real quick. Okay. Come on. Oh, no. Come on. Open up. Oh, no. It's not going to open up. No. Oh, because it took me over to Reddit. Hang on. Okay. Hang on a minute. Your dogs. I got to put it back in like this because it took me over to Reddit. And I'm like, we don't want to sit and read Reddit all day. Although I read a little bit of Reddit today. It was pretty interesting. Of a lot of things going on over there. Lots of talk. Okay. So hang on a minute. Damn it. Your dog's zodiac sign. All right. Get back over here. Get away from that. I don't want that one. Okay. So, I don't want the Chinese one. Okay, Western zodiacs. Now we're going to talk about the Western zodiac signs, right? Oh, that's cool. Wikipedia. Let's go to Wikipedia. There you go. All right. Here we go. That's dog. Nope, that's not the right one. I meant like it's trying to pull me back over into like the Chinese one for dog. So I got to fix that right quick. Of my puppy. That would paint me with her. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's trying to say that Jack is actually a Gemini. Okay, but I don't really match up with the Gemini. It's funny, isn't it? But we're doing just fine together, so that's kind of weird. So to determine your puppy's zodiac sign, you will need to know their date of birth, just like with humans. Oh, you keep losing sound? Oh no, Sprinkled. Is it from me or is it from you? Maybe that's what that crackling was. I'm not sure.
Can you hear me?
Crackling again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. But you kind of sound like you're in a tube, and then it'll make that crackling noise. So I'm not sure what it is, but it's okay though. You know. Okay. I'm gonna go back over here. Which popular dog breeds are you?
I don't know.
Now I'm gonna go back to.
I'm not on my
okay,
Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah. What are you on? Just your phone? Yeah, remember it does. Okay, now I hear that crackling, but it does that weird thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's like
Okay.
sometimes
You
we're
know, we
good,
hear-
and sometimes we're not good. I don't know.
I don't know what's making
You
it
want me to
fall
go
in
out
and
and come
out.
back
It's
in?
got to be. Yeah, go ahead. You're fine. You can do that. I'll just wait on you. It's fine. We'll talk about something
Let me
else. I'll
see.
get a drink of water. All right. I'll wait on you. It's cool.
Let me see. Okay, let me go out.
All right. Cool. Well, I'm so glad you came over. So glad you came over. Did you talk to? Never mind. We'll talk about that later. It's okay. It's okay. Cool. Okay. Luckily, astrology. Let me go back over here where I was. Ooh-wee. Okay. We have this friend who is she is an astrologer, and what she does is she takes these missing children's cases and she does the star chart, and she's pretty accurate about where to look, what happened, all this kind of stuff. Her name is I can't remember the name of her channel right now, but her name is Jen, right? I wanted her to we've talked about this. I said, Ronnie, what we need to do is to have her, we're going to like a double call in, and she can chart us and see if we actually even belong together. I think that would be so funny. Ronnie was like, sure, go ahead and do it. Are you back there? Let me see if she's back there. Oh. Is she? Yeah, you don't want that. Are you there, Sprinkle? Let me see. There. Okay, now. Can you hear me okay? I don't see her microphone. Like, I don't see green on your microphone. Let's see.
Anya,
That's kind of, yeah. All right. I can hear you, but it's like it's like the tube
let me,
thing again, sort of.
hold
Yeah.
on. Let me.
Okay.
That's
It's
so.
okay. It is weird. I don't know why this
Yeah, I
keeps
don't know.
happening. Do you have a microphone?
I don't.
Okay. All right.
I'm just using just straight the phone.
Okay. All right. And it's on. You've got the Wi-Fi turned off, and you're just on cellular, right?
Correct.
Okay. Let's see if it's going to hold for a few minutes. All right. Now, we're talking about these dogs and these zodiacs. We're only going to talk about this for a minute because there's another part of the show that I want to talk about. And I found this. It's in this People magazine, but what it is it gives these little snippets of all these different things that go on during the week. I did not know this was out there, and it's part of your YouTube. It's part of your YouTube subscription. I had no idea. Anyway, so here we go. If you were born during these 4 months, expert astrologers suggest that you possess remarkable spiritual gifts. However, you need to cultivate a deep trust in your intuitive and psychic abilities. How often do you dismiss your inner knowing, deciding that it's illogical and unproven, only to regret it later? Deciding to fully embrace your instinctive discernment can be a challenge at first, but it's crucial for your personality growth. Allowing yourself to listen to those inner whispers can lead to transferable insights and a deeper connection with your true self. It's not simplistic to follow your gut instinct. We talk about that a lot too. Say, oh, just follow your gut. Your first instinct's always right, but that might not be true. In fact, it's the very thing that sets you free. Okay. Now, so these are the foremost. Here we're going to talk about the foremost intuitive birth months. And I know you're going, what does this got to do with dogs? Well, it has a lot to do with dogs because it talks about your personality. And when they talk about what kind of dog is best for you based on the year and the month that you were born, which is all astrology, that's all astrology. And this is kind of where this comes into it. I don't mean to be confusing. I don't, but this is kind of how I understand it. So if you were born in March, you have an empathetic soul. So if you were born in March, you likely have a sensitive nature. Your intuition is strong and you have a deep desire to maintain peace and harmony with others. Because of this, you may often second guess your judgments about people. You might feel guilty for having negative feelings or sensing that someone's character doesn't align with your own. It's important to remember that setting boundaries and saying no are not judgmental behaviors. They are healthy and necessary, okay? So learning to trust your first impression more often can help you avoid investing your emotional energy in the wrong places. Whether you identify more with imaginative Pisces or pioneering Aries, you are destined to follow your inner wisdom. All right. July. Now, because these are the four most important months of the year, according to the astrology, right? So if you're born in July, your psychic wisdom. People born in July possess a wise and intuitive nature, whether they are sensitive Cancers or radiant Leos. Those born in these months often have an innate ability to understand their instincts. However, it is crucial for them to learn to trust these inner nudges before situations unfold. Relying solely on logic or hard facts isn't always the most helpful option. Sometimes we should pay attention to the signals of our body and soul, what our body sends us. Even without further proof, July-born individuals should also practice healthy detachment from their emotional desires, as these feelings can cloud their judgment and cause them to overlook warning signs when they are excited about someone or something. Okay. Next, we have October. October, the loving light. People born in October are peace-loving individuals who enjoy spreading joy, ease, and a sense of connection. Whether they are charming Libras or soulful Scorpios, they aspire to leave a profound impact on the lives of others. They value creating safe spaces where everyone can feel, comforted and at ease, and validated. However, those born in this autumn month need to prioritize their own needs as well. Putting others before oneself rarely leads to happiness for anyone, including those you are trying to please. It's crucial to listen to your intuition and recognize when your gut instincts are warning you about self-sabotaging patterns. We all kind of do some self-sabotaging because we don't listen to ourselves, right? We just don't. Now, December, the sage philosopher. Individuals born in December have a profound and soulful spirit. Either expansive Sagittarius or determined Capricorns, this birth month is often highly introspective and observant and constantly aware of their surroundings. However, the tendency to absorb others' emotions is exhausting. These individuals need to learn to trust their instincts about when to disengage and recharge. By committing mindfulness and personal ethics, they can enhance their well-being and foster personal growth. So, those are the four most important months in astrology. I really wish my friend Jim would come on here and talk to us about it because it's it's really fascinating, So, anyway.
There's so many levels
from
to
those
it.
4
There's
months,
so many levels to it.
Right. There is, and I don't think I could ever fully explain any of it, but I could sit and listen to somebody else explain it,
Yeah.
And this is kind of weird. So, it goes, let's see, maybe people always, have you ever felt disconnected from your zodiac sign? Absolutely. I don't always fit that pattern. Or maybe people are always guessing you're a Gemini when you're really a Taurus. If so, you might have a secret hiding in your birth chart, just waiting to be discovered. Most people are familiar with sun signs. Now that goes back into this too. But experts say that only represents a small part of your personality. Your astrological self comprises several planets and other celestial bodies that help shape your unique celestial profile. And some astrologers say that the real key to unlocking your potential is found in a special chart. It's just a chart point known as your zodiac signatures. I would love to have that. That's why I'm going to get with Jen. I wish I could remember that. Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing? I'm a Capricorn, but people don't believe me in my three-headed dog secret. Elizabeth. A lot of people say, well, no, I can tell you're a Virgo because of just how you are, just your nature, the things you do, the things you say, but some people, I don't always feel like I actually fit that. But anyway, I really wish I could get, there's different elements to this too, like in the Zodiac, in the astrology thing, like there's elements, there's all kinds of different, I wish I had her to help us understand. Like the Aries has the cardinal fire. The Taurus is like the fixed earth. The Gemini is the mutable air. The Leo is the fixed fire. Yes, Ryan, you're fixed fire. How about that? The Virgo is the mutable earth too. So if I'm a mutable earth, then I would match with somebody else who's a mutable earth, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. My husband is in, let's see, he is April. So let's see what he is. I think he's okay. So no, I don't match with him. The Leo is the fixed fire, and then it goes on to the Libra is cardinal air, and Scorpio is fixed water. Sagittarius is mutable fire. Capricorn is called cardinal earth. Aquarius is also a fixed air, and a Pisces is also a mutable water. That's kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? What does this mean? Not everyone has a signature sign. You may have noticed that your signature sign is ambiguous, meaning no clear astrological signature exists. The ambiguity signature can occur when you have an equal number of planets in two elements or modalities in your birth chart. God, this is interesting. If you have an ambiguous signature sign, looking at your chart ruler can help identify these planets that rules over your celestial energy. You can also choose to use both signature signs and have fun exploring the unique qualities of each. Okay, there is a program, I don't remember the name of it, but our friend Jen, who has a channel, she uses this, and she's talked about this before. In fact, she's used it on the Sebastian Rogers case, of which y'all all know that this week is Pig Fest. And so our good friend Lady Freedom and Jen are both over in Tennessee to go to this Pig Fest. Lots of interesting things going on over there. And I will tell you, it's nothing as y'all think, as it's been portrayed out onto the internet. But I'm going to let her come back and give us all the details when she gets back. So now, here's the other thing about this that I wanted to talk about. Hang on a second, guys. I got to go back over here to Ryan. Okay, listen, there was a big fight. There was a big thing that happened today in Austin. I saw JLR was talking about this in the public library. Guys, in the public library in downtown Austin, people are shooting each other. So there's somebody in the hospital and somebody arrested in the middle of the library.
Oh, wow.
That's
wow.
Crazy. Who goes, don't they have gun detectors and stuff in these public places like that? I guess not. But who would think you needed it at the public library?
Jeez.
It's crazy what people will do. It is crazy. Okay, now, let me get back over here to this little thing that I have here. We're just kind of talking about a few things. I thought the dog thing was kind of interesting because I clearly have the wrong dog. So here we go. Just missed. Okay. So now People Magazine. This is People Magazine. And so if you have a subscription to YouTube Premiere, you can go down and download this, and it's free. So you might want to know about style or anything else that's going on out in the real world, but you don't want to have to go out on the YouTube and look up every damn thing. So you could just go over here and you just get on this People thing, and you start skipping through it. And there's just all kinds of interesting things that are going on out there. So let's see, where's the one thing I wanted to talk about? I found like there's stories about Elizabeth Taylor, there's stories about Diane Keaton, which is sad. Diane Keaton died. I liked her. She was a great actress. I really liked everything she was in.
Yeah, I did too.
It's sad. I mean, think about this. I know our ages, right? And I know that, okay, listen, we got less years ahead of us than we had. But anyway, that's kind of a scary thing. But anyway, have y'all been watching the trailer for that new movie, Dracula? It's called A Tale of Love, Dracula. It's coming out in February. I think it's going to come to America. And it's starring that Caleb what's his name? Caleb Jones. Caleb Landry Jones is his name. Well, let me tell you something. If you haven't seen the trailers, I suggest you do. I cannot wait for that movie to come here. But it has competition because another it was made in Paris, right? Another group of people has also made another new Dracula movie it's in direct competition, right? So, and I believe the star of that is Johnny Depp, but I could be wrong. It was either, hang on a minute. Let's see, the new Dracula movie. I'll tell you who it is right quick. We're just talking about everything, aren't we? New Dracula movie. That's what I like to do, though. I should put on there, really, it's not about anything. We're just about everything. Okay, same birthday as Anthony Hopkins, Rick Draco, oh, wow, that is interesting. Elizabeth, you have the same birthday? Listen, you have some birthdays of some really talented people. It must be your astrology sign that makes you also talented, right? Not sure, but I bet so. So that's not the right one. There's 2 Dracula movies coming out. There's that one that was made there. And hang on a minute. This new Dracula movie, blah, 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 will blow your mind. That's not the right one. Oh, I wish I could find that. Ooh. It was made in America. Let me just change it for Made in America. See, Made in America. Okay. New Dracula movie. How's your head doing, Sprinkle? Are you still feeling okay? I don't know if she can hear me. Oops. Let's see. America. New Dracula. Let's see. Nope, that's not the right one. That Love Tale that's the one that was made over there. The first quarter of 2026 is coming over here. Well, let's see. I don't see it over here. Well, we'll just go back and talk about this other thing. All right, I'll go back over here where I was talking about this. But okay, so we had the public library shooting, and there's some other things going on out there in the world that's just ridiculous and crazy. Did y'all hear about there was a couple they were in a bad wreck. This happened on October the 20th, and it was over in Florida. Well, it was fatal. They crashed. It was fatal, right? But the couple was found holding hands. So they passed away in this car holding hands. I think that is so incredibly sad. They had to know that they weren't going to survive this. But then it brings you back to, wait a minute, did they do it on purpose, or was it truly an accident? Because they're, again, holding hands. So we're going to read about this for a minute. A Florida couple who were killed in a car crash were found holding hands after reaching for each other in their final moments. Around 8:25 p.m. local time on October the 20th, a truck driving south on, a Burnt Store Road in Cape Coral drifted into the northbound lane and hit a trailer truck traveling in the opposite direction, with an SUV directly behind the Cape Coral Police Department. Okay, so there was an SUV directly behind the trucks. So the police department said in their statement, a preliminary investigation determined that the truck hit one of the northbound truck's tires, and this just badly damaging both vehicles. According to them, the northbound truck then lost control and spun into the southbound lane, and then it hit the SUV, causing the vehicle to roll over and away from the road before coming to a stop facing the opposite direction. They continued that the southbound truck spun on impact before stopping in the middle of the roadway. This is a horrific crash. I want you to think about how many people were involved here. The 2 occupants in the SUV, of course, passed away. They were identified as, I'm not going to mention their names, but anyway. And the driver of the southbound truck also died on the scene, while the driver of the northbound truck sustained minor injuries. Now, Brian Greenwell said that he heard a loud crash and rushed over to try and help those involved in the crash. Before coming, that's heartbreaking. I don't know what I would do if I came across a scene like that and saw that. I don't think I could look. I couldn't look. I would just be calling 911. I couldn't do it, He described it as chaotic moments, a symbol of peace. Oh, listen, Greenwell described a chaotic moment as a symbol of peace in a way. I think that if anyone was going to pass away, you would want to be with the person that you love the most. This is what he told the news people. The CCPD said that the speed did not appear to be a factor in the fatal crash. Police are asking any witnesses to come forward. I thought that was kind of interesting that they were, found holding hands. You just don't, I've never heard of that before, so I thought it was pretty, it's a beautiful story, but it's a sad story, right? Okay, then, here's another weird thing that happened. Now, this is just weird things that are going on that we're talking about. A man shot and killed in a restaurant by her ex-boyfriend. Mom shot and killed in a restaurant by her ex-boyfriend in a murder-suicide. Oh, terrible. This happened on October 25th. A California community is mourning the loss of a mom of two after she was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend in a murder-suicide that took place inside a barbecue restaurant. You just going for a little dinner, and next thing you don't know, you got a madman coming in here shooting people, right? And then taking his own life. Could you imagine the scenario, the scene that would be? That's just terrible. So and then it goes on to say that according to the police, the La Habra, which is a barbecue place, located about 25 miles southeast of Los Angeles, a man identified as 35-year-old Jonathan Wang walked into a Korean barbecue restaurant around 6:45 p.m. on Tuesday, October the 14th, and he shot Jacqueline Medrano before he turning the gun on himself. Based on the preliminary information, the incident appears to be a targeted attack of murder-suicide. Mr. Wang shot Mrs. Medrano before dying from a self-inflicted gunshot. Police said that in a statement, adding that Los Angeles County Fire Department, their paramedics pronounced them both, deceased. Investigators have no indication of any outstanding suspects and have no known threat to the public. So that's kind of a sad story. Okay, and it gives you the address of the barbecue place, and then the prosecutor's office says that they can't file any. There's nothing they can file because both parties have passed away. So, okay, and that stems from a couple problem. And here's another terrible thing. See, there's all kinds of unique stories over here on this. I think it's very interesting. Again, it's just called People, and I think it's part of People
stream that you were talking about. That was the People thing you were talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. So you want to know what's going on in the world, it's right there. But it's interesting to go listen to somebody else tell it. So I don't mind if people go and get these stories off of here and then go to YouTube and tell it, because it's all interesting, Right. This happened. Let's see. This happened back on October 24th. The mother of a 10-year-old girl who died by suicide earlier this year said she now regrets giving her daughter a smartphone at an early age. Okay, so the 10-year-old this is the story of that 10-year-old who took her, that's terrible. Remember this one? She took her own life. So she's at an early age, especially for the youth at night. She deserved to live, and I will never see her go to a homecoming or a prom. Summer Bushman told CBS News about her late daughter, Autumn, in an interview that just aired on Thursday, October the 23rd. So I don't know if y'all remember this Autumn, the story of Autumn or not. I know we've heard it. I don't know her last name, but I'm pretty sure they'll tell us in a minute. So she said this. Okay, so this originally aired on October the 23rd. We need to go find that. I'll never see her, get married or in a wedding dress, and that's really difficult. Autumn of Roanoke, VA, died on March 21st, according to her obituary. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner of Virginia determined the cause of death to be suicide. Okay. So Autumn's family also confirmed that her cause of death in an interview on, the affiliate, gets the news station, and a GoFundMe. Autumn's family earlier alleged that their loved one, who was a student at Mountain View Elementary, this is an elementary child. Oh my God.
That's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Bullied at school. Okay. Bullied at school. See, there's a lot of bullying that goes on, and it does cause tragedies like that. There is bullying that goes on YouTube every single day. We watch it. We hear it. I mean, you've got a group of people just, going after one creator or going after another creator, and I don't know why. So what? I mean, really, so what if somebody is... Okay, I'm going to say this, we're going to go to a different topic for just a second, but I am coming back to this. How many times have you seen these people start talking about somebody else because, they were grifting, or, they fell asleep, or, this, or, that? Well, so what? You know what? If the people who go to that channel don't care if that's what the creator's doing, they go to the channel and watch it anyway, why do you care? I mean, it's nobody's business how you run your channel or what you choose to do on your channel. Why do they make it their business? I don't understand it, girl. Sprinkle.
I feel like people that do that literally have never experienced anything traumatic or any grief in their life, because once you've experienced excruciating grief, it puts life in perspective for you, and you look at things differently, and you don't do things like that. So I feel like people that have done that or do that, they've had a pretty damn good life. Because if you've experienced bad things, you don't do stuff like that, because you value life, you value people, you value everything, and you don't act like that.
See, I agree with that. You know, we talk about this openly. You know, Sprinkle and I talk about this openly. We both lost children. We know how that feels. And that is the worst pain you can ever have in your entire life. My son Ryan also deals from yes, he has some problems with it too, because he's survivor skills, you know. That's a problem too. But anyway, you listen to these people do this to each other, and they don't have any idea the pain, the hurt. They don't know what's going on in this person's life underneath. Okay, see, everything on YouTube is just YouTube. That's not, in most cases, it's not your real life, right?
Mm-mm.
You could have things going on in your real life, but still go out into your YouTube channel because it brings you joy. Okay, but then you've got these people over here who are just bastion and all this going real life on you because of whatever you're doing on your channel, which is really none of their business, but they don't even understand what's going on in your real personal life, because your personal life and YouTube just don't really mix together. They just don't. Well, mine kind of do, but in most cases they just don't, right? So I think it's horrible, and it is a form of bullying. We're seeing it right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%, because people can sit behind their keyboards and say whatever they want, and really there's not many repercussions to it. Those people would never say those kind of things to people face to face. Never. It wouldn't happen.
They say they would, but no, they would.
They would. No.
Mm-hmm. So
and if something like that happened to them, they would be the first ones to start screaming and crying and carrying on about it.
I think you're right about that. But, wow. Okay, so she was bullied at school. The school said they had handled it and that it was about as far as it went. But as far as we know, what we were told, at least by our daughter, was that it kept happening. Mark Bushman, Autumn's father, told WSLS in late March, "This is an age where they have tablets and they have phones, so it's happening around the clock. They can't really escape." And that's true. She came to me crying, and she was really upset. Someone recalled to the same outlets, and she said, "Mom, I'm really stressed out. I'm being bullied. Can I please stay home from school tomorrow?" Shortly after Autumn's death, the Roanoke County Public Schools shared the following statement: "We are incredibly saddened to learn of the passing of one of our students at Mountain View Elementary School. This is a tragic loss, and we stand in support of the family, friends, and the Mountain View community. While we cannot discuss the specifics of this situation due to the federal privacy laws and out of respect for the family, we are conducting a thorough review." Did they? This is what I want to know. Did they? So then it says, they were going to do this review.
There has to be, they need to put laws in place in regards to bullying. There has to be consequences for bullying, or it's going to continue.
You're right. And I think the first thing they need to do is do not allow these kids to take their telephones into those classrooms or to school, period. If you need to contact your parents, you go to the office and you call from the phone in the office. There is no reason for these kids to have their phones in these backpacks in the classroom. That is what causes a lot of this, because instead of learning, they're sitting there with this phone underneath that desk, tap, tap, tapping away to whoever, saying whatever they want to say, right? I don't know why they allow that. They've got to stop it. It should be stopped in every single state. Then you've got the other side over here saying, "Well, I need my child needs to have their phone because if something happens, I want them to call me. I'm going to go get them right then." The overbearing.
We also
parent, that's right. We did. We didn't have telephones in school. We had a problem. We went to the office and we called home, and then it was handled. There's none of this bull. There was bullying back then too, but it was not on the same level. The level it is today is outrageous. So what? She called you a bad name, but it's not just that. It's putting out fake pictures saying it's somebody else's body. I mean, kids are smart. These days, they know how to work these tablets and these phones by the time they're 5, 6, 7 years old. I've seen it with my own eyes. Now,
Oh yeah.
yes, my child's extremely, my child's extremely smart, and he figured out really fast. But I mean, the average child is still figuring these things out really fast.
Yeah,
So,
I always say if you don't know how to use your phone, give it to a 4-year-old. They'll tell you.
They'll tell you exactly what to do. Isn't that sad?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it is so sad. But but a lot of times parents give these kids at very early ages phones, tablets, to entertain themselves, because mother is busy working. Mother or father's, you're doing all these different things. And so if the child doesn't want to sit down and watch cartoons, or you don't have time to sit down with them, what are you doing? Take this tablet, entertain yourself. Mm-hmm. So it's because the tablet or the phone became the instant babysitter, which is just horrible. But it happens every day. And that's how they learn to work it so quick. Damn, it's sad. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. So
can you imagine though being a 10-year-old and being so distraught that you have to take your life? I mean, that is just that's heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching.
I can't understand it at all, because you've heard me talk about this. I mean, I talk about it. It's not a secret, right? But when my child passed away, I had that thought of why am I here? I didn't even want to be here. But I also had this other child and other children and family to take care of. But anyway, I understand this level of pain that she's having. I mean, she may not have the same kind of pain, but it's painful for this child to be bullied like this. She doesn't know what to do. She's went for help. She's not getting help. And it continues on and on and on. Right? Mm-hmm. I don't think the parents understood how bad it was for her, but they kept sending her into it every single day. Right?
Well, I don't think as a parent you can really, we can't wrap our heads around it. You know what I mean? It's like, because we all had instances growing up where we're like, Mom, I had a problem with this person, or Dad, I had a problem with this person. And it was like, oh, you'll be fine. Just go to school. But it was very, very different. Right. It was very, very different back then. It wasn't the same level of problems as it is now. And I don't think we as adults can really understand the level that these kids deal with.
We certainly can't. I mean, because what we feel and what they feel, I mean, I can't. I cannot even relate to a 10-year-old who felt so bad that she took her own life. I cannot. It is painful. Let me see what my friend says over here. She might come up too. Oh, let me tell her I'm live. So,
but if there's no concept,
I've got people asking me something. It's telling if they want to come on, they can.
Yeah, it's like these parents who now are being held responsible when their kids get a gun and go to school and end up shooting up the schools. These parents need to be held responsible for the actions of their children. Unfortunately, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. Can you really be held accountable for what your child does? Yes and no, but they need to be. Yeah. If parents became held accountable for the actions of their children, then these parents would be monitoring more of what their children are doing, because these parents aren't monitoring what these kids are doing.
No, they're not. But today, in today's world, remember back, I don't remember, I mean, this doesn't apply to everybody, but I remember when I was a child, I didn't have both parents working. But now, in a lot of homes today, you don't have both parents working. But in most families, you do have both parents working. So who's monitoring the children? The older child is over there babysitting the younger child. The older child is over there on her phone or whatever she wants to do, not paying any attention to what the other child's doing, right? Because that's what's going on in these homes. I know that's what's going on in these homes. So, I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. Just kids just basically do whatever they want to do. Yeah, my sister's babysitting me, but not really, because she's in her room talking to her boyfriend on the phone. So I decided to go make myself something and caught the kitchen on fire. I mean, think about these kind of things. It happens every day out there. Nobody's watching the children. You can't afford to send them to daycare. The cost of daycare is so outrageous, but everything costs way too much. Groceries cost too much. Everything costs way too much. It's like the world has just turned into, I know we're getting off topic, so let me get back on topic. But this little girl, I don't know. I cannot even imagine her at 10 years old. I just can't. Anyway, so let me see what it says. So they said they did a review and they were handling it, but no, they did not handle it. So she talks about, she goes, I'm going back to whatever they said here. So she said, come back over here. That Mountain View. So the community, they can't describe it. She goes, our school takes all reports of bullying and conflicts among students very seriously. This is what their statement says. In July, the Roanoke Police Department announced that no charges had been filed in the case and it was closed. No charges were filed because none of the children were old enough to be held responsible for bullying a person to the point that they took their own life because of their age. They're too young.
Then hold the parents responsible. Somebody has to be held responsible. Somebody has to be.
Here's what I think, and I might be completely wrong, but bullying starts at home. If you bully your children are going to go bully somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works right there, and it's sad.
Learn
bullies
behavior.
Create bullies.
It's learned behavior.
Sure is. So the goal for the police department is to determine how she died and if there was any criminal activity involved. The department said, according to them, after all the evidence they reviewed, police determined that there to be no criminal activity and hence no charges. As CBS News recently reported, records show that Autumn was looking at her phone just before she died by suicide in her bedroom on the evening of March 21st. I had questions that a couple of times, and she fought back and said, Mom, I need my alarm. So she wouldn't take the phone. She kept saying, I need my alarm, right? So Autumn had a habit of taking her phone to bed with her at night. And every single morning when I'd wake her up, she'd had her alarm going off. CBS News reports cited that a recent Virginia Tech study that looked at the connection involving nighttime hours and screen use and access to medications with overdose suicide attempts for young people. Okay, you see what happened here. Most overdoses occurred late at night, after screen use, and so late at night after using their phone. Oh boy. So researchers found that both, yeah, go ahead.
No, but they're saying that there's no criminal charges. Isn't harassment against the law? Wouldn't that be considered harassment?
Well, I mean, it is.
So why?
It is.
Therefore, why?
Because they're elementary.
Right, but still, it's still harassment is harassment. So,
right.
I mean, they put kids in jail all the time. There's juvenile detention centers.
They need to find some way to deal with this other than the school hollering they handled it and the child saying, going home and telling her parents and the parents saying, oh, well, the school said they handled it, right?
Well, if the school handled it, it wouldn't be, if the school handled it, it wouldn't be happening.
You damn right it wouldn't. So there's just this combined with the social media and the availability of medications at home that the window can become dangerous. So she got the medication from her home, something in that house. She has the phone with her late at night. She's just got off the phone. She's taking these drugs and she passes away. She's taking the drugs from her mother's cabinet. Wow. So how did she get her hands on it? That's another problem over here with all of this. So it just talks about just, understanding how easy access to pills, not just prescription drugs, can contribute to suicide attempts. The team's analysis showed that late night, so talk about the late night hours, combined with the able to get the medications from the home, that the window can be dangerous. And the Virginia Tech School of Medicine professor who led the study told CBS that it's pretty dangerous for bullied children to have their own phones with them at night. He advised prohibiting the use of phones in the bedroom, maintaining proper sleeping habits, restricting access to medications for young people, right? That's just a horrific story, and it really didn't need to happen. This beautiful little 10-year-old did not need to happen. Oh,
but think back when you were 10 years old, little rat. Would you know how to kill yourself at 10 years old?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah. So how are these children even knowing what to do to commit suicide?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I wish I did know the answer to that.
Yeah, that's just, I wouldn't have known what to do to kill myself at 10. My God.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, but of course back then, we were not able to just go get something like that. I did not know my mother had any prescription drugs, number one. Number two, I didn't really know anything about suicide. It was not talked about, or mental health. It was not talked about. So, I mean, that's kind of I just wish they could do something about the. I mean, but it's not going to happen. This is just not going to happen, right? But if everybody would look at themselves first and say, my gosh, what have I done? What example did I set? What part of me caused this to happen? Because I'm pretty sure it's not only just everything that happened to her at school. Things happen at home. It's one big circle of swirling mess that just overcame this child to the point that she took her own life at 10 years old. It's not all, I don't think it was all just the school. There had to be things that happened at home too. It doesn't make sense. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Mm-mm. I mean, those poor parents. Okay, here's another little story. 2 Texas police officers save a baby girl pinned under a car after a crash. I know these are all terrible, but this is what's in this people thing. So this happened on October 25th. Texas police are just praising the heroic efforts of 2 officers who saved a baby who was pinned under a car following a crash. According to a release from the Fort Worth Police Department, along with body cam footage of the high-stakes rescues, Officer Nichols and Officer Bounds were able to rescue the baby from the trapped vehicle with the help of some bystanders. An October 24th statement that the incident happened on Thursday, October 23rd, 2 officers responded to a vehicle crash on I-30 between East Chase Parkway and Cooks Lane. This resulted in the mother and her 1-year-old child being ejected. Oh my God. So the mother and the 1-year-old were ejected from the car, but the baby was trapped. The infant was pinned beneath the overturned vehicle and was unresponsive. Oh my gosh. So there is some graphic footage. I'm not going to show the footage. We're just going to talk about it because it's pretty graphic. Okay. In the body cam footage, an officer could be seen running toward the overturned vehicle and bending down on the grass to see if anyone was still, trapped inside the car. After locating the child, the officer could be heard telling bystanders, "The child's right under here. We need to move this car. I think the baby's under here." And he just kept moving. He said, as the bystanders continued to help push the vehicle over, the officer then reached in and grabbed the car and got the baby from inside the car. He pulled it to safety. From underneath the car. I'm trying to understand how it's underneath the car. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what this looks like. So one of the officers, identified as Nichols, started doing the chest compressions on the girl while the other attempted to clear her airways. One of the officers could be heard saying, "She has a pulse. She is breathing. Is she breathing?" Nichols kept up his chest compressions as in bounds to keep her breathing. The infant could be heard making sounds and struggling to breathe as the officers continued CPR. Eventually, the child let out a big cry. I mean, that probably felt great. So the child lets out a big cry, and the officers know that she was all right. Well, she's not all right, but she's alive. So they immediately began to perform. Yeah. They were doing all this, and so the fire department gets there. At the end of the video, a firefighter could be seen wrapping the child up and carrying her into an ambulance to receive further medical attention. Police said that at this time, the woman and the infant are in stable condition and expected to make full recovery. That's a beautiful story. I'm so glad they both made it. That's a beautiful story. Wow. Because that doesn't always happen.
There was some divine intervention there.
It sure was. Okay, so let's go see. What's this next one? Okay, now, here's another one. All kinds of stuff here. Now, this is from Alabama. It's interesting, though. Alabama executes man convicted of burning victims alive using a controversial nitrogen gas method. Okay, so now, this nitrogen gas method is the newest type of item used in, like the gas chamber. They're using a gas chamber in Alabama. So, Anthony Todd Boyd had been convicted in 1993, all right? 1993, murder of a man killed over a drug debt, okay? An Alabama man convicted of murder was executed using the controversial nitrogen gas method. Anthony Todd Boyd was executed by nitrogen hypoxia. I'm not saying this right. It's Hypoxia. Hypoxia, I guess. At a prison in Elmore, right. Alabama. Hypoxia, I think that's how you say it. On the 23rd, Alabama Attorney General's office says Boyd had been convicted in 1993 of murdering Gregory Hughley. Authorities said Boyd and other co-defendants kidnapped Hughley for $200 of cocaine. He owed them $200. They took the man's life for $200. Wow. Hughley was taken to a baseball field, duct taped to a bench, and doused in gasoline and lit on fire. Oh my God, that's horrible. Trigger warnings. I'm so sorry. According to the state authorities, Boyd was convicted of capital murder in 1995 and sentenced to death. Boyd's execution was delayed for decades, but was allowed to proceed Thursday when the United States Supreme Court declined to intervene. The Montgomery Adventure, this is a reporter, that Boyd used his last words to deny that he killed Hughley. Well, what do you mean he denied it? Well, they always do, right? I just want to say again, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't participate in killing anybody. I just want everyone to know there's no justice in this state. And this is what his last dying words were, according to the paper. The Attorney General, Steve Marshall, said in the statement that Boyd never once presented evidence that the jury was wrong. Well, that's controversial in itself, right? So he had requested to die by the firing squad instead of the nitrogen, though the state official said he had first requested the gas in 2018. The Supreme Court Justice, and it's the Keegan, Sotomayor, and Brown, descended to Alabama's use. They descended to the use of the nitrogen gas in the execution. Boyd asked for the barest. He goes. Boyd asked the barest form of mercy. What do you mean? He asked for the barest form. To die by firing squad, which would kill him in seconds rather than by torturous suffocation, lasting up to 4 minutes. Sotomayor reportedly wrote in her dissent to the majority's denial of the stay of execution. Wow. That's a terrible story right there. But 1995 to 2024. That's 30 years? 30 years. Let's see. 2005, yeah, almost 30 years. Okay, let's see. Now, here's another one. Okay. This is just all kinds of interesting stories that are just over here. Here's one about a missing person. Okay.
Well,
missing Burma. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also put out. Okay,
dare he asked to be killed in a nice way? I think it takes a lot longer than 3 or 4 minutes to burn somebody to death.
Yeah, especially somebody alive that's duct taped, they can't get away from it, and you're putting gasoline on, and you're setting them on fire. And most of the time, the people that die from being set on fire, they die from the smoke inhalation. They don't really die from the fire per se, right? But God, how horrible! Yeah, how dare you?
I said he wants to die in a more humane manner. He wants to be killed.
Yeah, horrible, ridiculous. I think that the way they did it was perfect. You know why? Because it didn't take longer than 1 minute or whatever. You don't just die instantly. I think it was perfect for what he did. I know that it's not up to us to judge other people. I know that, but my God, my God. Look how cute our little thing is. It'll stop you just a minute.
I love that.
Anyway.
I love that.
You can see what I do during the day, right? So I did a little, I did a little story the other day, and I just did a little AI on it about this lady that, then the next day, Dr. Phil did a story on it. Her last name is Murray. What's her first name? She'd been missing for years and years and years. But now, what was her first name? I can't remember it now. You think you remember it because you just did the story on it, right? It'll come to me, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. But missing Vermont college student Leah Smith. She's been found, sadly, not the way we want her to. Smith, 21, was reported missing on October 19th, 2 days after she was last seen in Middlebury College campus. Missing Middlebury College student Leah Smith has officially been confirmed deceased. Smith, 21, was reported missing by her father on Sunday, 2 days after she was last seen on campus. A body was discovered near the college by Vermont State Police on Thursday. An autopsy has now confirmed that it is that of Smith, per the press release. From the Vermont Police Department, it shared on Friday, October 24th. Hey, Mom, and good to see you. I can't seem to get my comments to post. My internet must be rocky. If you see this here, I'm just adding, I'm sharing. Okay, yeah, we can see you just fine, Mom It Up. How you doing? Our friend Mom It Up is here. Hey there. I'll let her know that we can see and hear her. Hey there. Oh, hang on, guys. I told Mom that if she wanted to, she could come up if she wanted to, but I don't know if she is or not, but hey there. So there we go. Yes, we can see you. I hope I spelled that right. Yeah, there we go. So, okay, sadly, so this one was sadly found deceased. And I'm just trying to figure if they figured out what happened to her. Let's see. They said it was determined that she died. Okay, suicide. Again, suicide. One more time. A college student takes her own life. Why? People reached out for both the medical examiner's office for comments on Saturday, but did not receive any immediate responses. The college president, Ian Boucham, I think is his name, announced the news onto the campus community statement and on Facebook Saturday, sharing that he had spoken to Smith's family and expressed the heartbreak to them. As president and for more as a fellow parent, I just ask for them. This is a profound loss that nobody should have to endure, he continued. As we mourn, I want to express my deep... I hear you. Woohoo! It's okay, momming it up, I understand. Yeah, you can come up shortly if you want to. And whenever you get ready, I'll just give you the link. We can let Mom and Deb come tell us some stories because she's got some about bullying and things like that she's dealt with, because she has a child that also has autism. Anyway, I'm going to finish reading this and then we'll move on to the next thing. So, but again, he starts talking to everybody about this person. She goes, he's offering compassionate support to their family, friends, and students across our community. We will continue to support them in every way. He noted that Smith was from Woodside, California, and was a remarkable person. She was a diver on our women's swimming and diving team and a member of our chess and Japanese club, and an articulate advocate of transgender rights. Her academics interests were broad, and she was pursuing a double major in computer science and statistics. She was a gift to us, and we are so grateful that she was and will always remain a member of our Middlebury family. He added members of the Vermont State Police and Rescue Team found Smith in Cornwall, Vermont, near the college's organic farm. But they're not saying what type of suicide it was, and I don't think they should either. So, that's another horrific story about suicide. It just happens. I wonder how many times a day it happens and how many times a day these people are actually bullied, especially in the LGBT, I always say this wrong, LGBT, in that group, I always say it wrong, but how many of those people are bullied to take their life every day? How many autistic children, is so many, it's just, sad. Okay, let me go back to this next one, let's see. Okay, there's so many stories here. It's like I don't know which one to go to next. I know what we're going to talk about next. Lori Vallow Daybell. Okay, guys, did you see that she acted a fool in court because she is being made to pay restitution to Kay Woodcock? When I saw that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That just never ends with her and her ridiculousness and how she acted in court. She was such a smart aleck to the judge when he asked her, has she been coerced into this? Has she been taking any drugs or been drinking? And she says to the judge, do you realize I'm in prison, right? What an asshole. She just never stops. She's very upset because she has to pay restitution, but I don't think she has to pay enough restitution. Of course, when you think about what they would pay monthly, because they don't really get paid very much. I think where they get 35 cents an hour or something like that. If you've got it'll take you forever to pay off $11,000. I don't know. That woman's just crazy as they come. Well, she's not. It's not that she's crazy. She's just a sociopath, to be honest with you. I'm seeing if there's any more stories about children over here that we've missed this week, because all of these things pretty much happen this week on this people page.
Kay Woodcock does not want. Kay Wood.
Are you there?
Yeah,
Hello?
Kay Woodcock does not want Lori's money. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No,
can you hear me?
Don't. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
You there? Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing Kay wants is Lori's money. I have so much respect for the Woodcocks. They are incredible.
Me too. It's kind of like it's like they become famous, but not for a reason they want to become famous. You know what I mean? They never wanted to be a part of this story. This has been a horrific situation.
But they have been
that's what we
there.
were talking about.
They have been there and been there and been there for both of those kids from day one.
I mean, that whole family suffered. It's just not Kay and Larry. I mean, we've got Kersha, which also she has a Difficult Research is her channel, and she does a really good job. And she's talked about this a lot. It's her, it's Colby and his wife and those kids. I mean, this is a big extended family of people that are hurt forever because of two people. But, and I always go back to this too, and I will always say this, had it not been if Zulema or Melanie Gibb or Melanie P would have went to the police and said, I think these people are dangerous, let me tell you what they're talking about, instead of just participating with them, those people would still be here today. But no, they acted like it was a game and just continued on. But here's the thing, I mean, they listened to what Chad said. And when you go back and if you go all the way back and you talk about some of these things, Chad started out with, oh, these are just fantasies, just things in my book. And then he changes over with Lori, oh no, this is all true. God has told me this is coming true. God has told me this, God has told me that. Now, remember I kind of talked about this before in this Visions of Glory book, right? Now, in discussion with Kersha, as he talked about this book itself, here's the thing, it was, because it goes further back, I told you that before, but actually, they were using the guy who did this book and the people that he first started talking to with this, they were using mind control, right? Which is a cult. It's cult. It's always been a cult. And so that's that is how most of this started, was that right there. But anyway, I'm going to get back to this book here in a little bit. I'm gonna read it and we're going to talk about it because it's interesting. I'm not Mormon, but I have a lot of interest in what happened there and how far back this goes, and at what point. When did this start with Chad Daybell? Because it did not start with Lori. Chad Daybell was into this way before Lori ever got there. So I want to dig into that. What in the world? Because his family was so brainwashed and still are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When you look at those letters on X, there's not been another one. But let me tell you what, they've changed them, okay? Because remember, first they started out one way. Well, then I was reading, I look all the time to see if letter number 8 has come out. Well, there's probably not going to be a letter number 8, and I'll tell you why. Because they don't have any other books advertised. Because this really goes back to, they don't have a publishing company anymore. They have no way to advertise the books that he's written for sale because he can't do it. So the only way they could do that was to put this crap out on X. It's just like the biggest campaign, it's advertising campaign for his books I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Every one of those, every one of them are little excerpts from his books. That's all that shit is.
100%.
Makes me
100%. And if God was going to reach down, if God was going to come down here and talk to somebody, he wouldn't be talking to Chad Daybell. There's much better. Right. You kind of cutting out a little bit again. I wonder why. Dang it. Oh, no.
But you're right. He wouldn't. I mean, then there's, you talk about the 144,000 and all this other stuff, which is, part of Revelations. And I mean, oh my God. The Book of Mormon was actually written by this Smith guy, really. And it's like he took parts of the Bible and parts of whatever he wanted it to be and just made a book and said, this is what we're going to live by. Really. That's really, I mean, I have the Book of Mormon and I've started reading it because I just want to understand the psyche and what the hell happened over here besides, oh God, it's so much. It's just so much, but it's important. Now, it's important because we have people who are so easily led into joining into a cult without realizing they're being drawn into a cult, which is exactly how it started, right?
I mean, that's the whole theory behind the cult. None of these people realize they're getting into a cult.
They're just coerced into it with promises of this, that, or the other. I mean, Charles Vallow was a good man, right? He provided for his family. He loved Lori. She abused him. She used him. She is horrific. I mean, She thinks she's going to get out of jail. She thinks that her and Chad are going to be waltzing out of jail someday. They're not going to win an appeal. She needs to get her act pulled together. But she cannot change. If she changes, then she has to admit that she was led by a false prophet and took her children's life for no reason. So she can't do that. She's going to live in denial forever, right? Here's another story that happened this week, and I don't know if y'all heard about this one. Mother suspected that daughter had killed dad, and now mom is found slain. All right. Oh boy, this is a terrible one. Carrie Zettel was killed in a vicious attack leading to the arrest of her daughter, Lauren Spars. Have y'all heard about this one? So this was on October 24th. This is content warning. It contains disturbing details. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay, this was over in Wisconsin. A Wisconsin woman is accused of bludgeoning her mother to death in a gruesome incident. Carrie Zettel, 64, was killed in the backyard of her Milwaukee home in an alleged attack that left her brain, I'm not going to say it was visible, okay? Earlier this month, a search warrant said that CBS 58, which is the station that had reported this, the woman cited by Local 12 was obtained, okay, so they're talking about the warrant, and it was obtained by, WTMU. Lauren Spores, identified by several local outlets as Zettel's 29-year-old daughter, was arrested in connection with the October 12th incident and charged with first-degree intentional homicide. According to the online court records that was reviewed by People, right? Zettel's close friend and neighbor Loretta Mayer says there has been a history of alleged violence in Spars in that family. Online court records reviewed by People show a domestic abuse restraining order had been filed and granted in a family case against Spores in February of 2018. Mayer told CBS 58 that Zettel had long suspected Spores allegedly played a role in the 2018 death of her father, Jeffrey Spores. In a petition for restraining order obtained by the outlet, Zettel alleged that Lauren struck her father repeatedly on his head with a heavy decorative bottle. Lauren also allegedly threatened life with a knife following the attack. Okay, so I don't know why she wasn't already arrested for her father. That makes no sense. She should have been allowed to be out if that's what she did. So in 2018, Spars wrote the court, "I haven't accepted my dad's death. My mom says I killed him, but I don't remember doing it." Oh, here we go, guys. We've heard this before. Officials eventually ruled Jeffrey's death accidental because he reportedly had a history of over-medicating per the medical examiner's reports. Wait a minute. Lauren was charged also with a misdemeanor battery and theft in June of 2020. Okay, so this tells the tale right here. The case, okay, so she had another case for theft in June, but the court records reviewed that the case was discharged after she was found incompetent to stand trial. Okay. Zettel is being remembered for her bright personality and advocacy for those with mental illness. So mental illness plays a lot in these things. It always does. Her son said at a recent visual that she was fondly known among the children as Grandma Carrie and was famous for her signature cheesecake-like dish. She was always there for the children, says this. Lauren's first-degree intentional homicide charge in connection it also includes a modifier of domestic violence threats, according to the online court records, which do not indicate a plea. So there's probably not going to be a plea deal, right? Here's the thing about her, though. I want you to think about that. She was found incompetent to stand trial. Incompetent. And then she takes her mother's life. This isn't just a span of just a few years. Yes, we know mental illness is part of this because here's the thing. Why was she not in a hospital or somewhere until that she could be found competent? I don't understand this story and how this happened. Something's very wrong here. Don't you think, Sprinkled?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it doesn't sound like there was any question about her competency. No.
You know, anybody else?
Yeah. A lot of. No, go ahead, honey.
Something just doesn't make sense. I don't understand her out walking the streets. If they knew that she had hit her father, she had with a bottle or whatever, and then did they even investigate it? Did they do a full autopsy? Why was she not charged there? She was found incompetent, but she could have been kept in a hospital until she was found competent to stand trial. I think what they need to do now is this, just like they did with Chad Daybell's wife, poor Tammy, bless her soul. They need to dig that man up, do a new autopsy, and figure out what really happened to him. It wasn't medication overdose. She bludgeoned him in the head with a bottle. What the hell?
Absolutely.
Why is nobody fighting for justice for him? My God. Well, here's a great story. New Jersey teacher loses license after being accused of taping a 9-year-old boy's head to the desk.
Oh, wow.
This is awful. Former New Jersey school teacher Todd Lewis allegedly used masking tape to hold the boy's head down for nearly an hour, per the police. Oh my God. This is on October 24th. A New Jersey teacher recently gave up his educator's license after he was arrested and accused of taping a 9-year-old student's head to his own desk as a punishment. The former teacher told Lewis just voluntarily gave up his teaching license to the state board. Lewis was 58, reportedly did so after being arrested last December and accused by the Pompton Lakes Police Department of taping the 9-year-old student's head to his desk for roughly an hour using masking tape. The former New Jersey teacher had his 2 elementary school teaching licenses since 2000 and 2005, so he's had 2 different licenses. So, at the time, also arrested, Sally Ann Scala, who was Lewis's teacher's aide, and accused her of allegedly standing by and failing to intervene to stop the teacher from the punishment, according to the police department. Lewis was charged with 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child in the 2nd degree, according to the police department, while Scala, 68, was charged with 1 count of 4th degree abuse and child neglect. The 2 educators worked at the Lenox Hill Elementary School, and according to the police department, the alleged incident happened October 2024. So this was a year ago. A year ago, we're just now hearing about where they taped the 9-year-old's head down to the desk as a punishment. Wow, he had been placed masking tape around the back of his head and neck and secured it to his desk for approximately 40 to 50 minutes while Ms. Scala was present in the classroom and failed to intervene. At the time, police said that if found guilty, Lewis faced 5 to 10 years in state prison for his child endangerment charge, while Scala faced possibly up to 18 months. That's not enough. Wow, that's not enough. They reached out to the police department to see if there's any more information about this and whether, listen to this. So they reached out to the Pompton Lakes Police Department for more information about whether the charges are still active or have since been dropped. Since been dropped? What do you mean? If that was my child, you are not dropping the charges against those people. In fact, I'm going to file a civil suit on top of it for abuse to my child through that school district. I'm suing the school and the teacher. Amen, I certainly am.
And I would like to investigate the relationship between the 2 of those, because the teacher's aide is a mandated reporter. Why in the hell is she not reporting?
That's exactly right. I want to know that too. Here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a picture of this case, okay? And we're going to go dig up some information, and we're going to bring that back to our public here to let them know about what's going on here. That makes no sense at all. I don't understand why this man is not, why isn't he already sentenced? You know? I don't get it. Let's look it up and see if I can find anything else about him. His name is Todd Lewis. Okay, so let me go out here to the internet and see if I can find anything else on him. That's damn ridiculous. Oh, God.
And
I can
he
see.
shouldn't have been
Actually,
allowed to. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have been allowed to give up his license. His license should have been taken from him.
Right. Why voluntarily, right? Okay, so Todd Lewis, let's see. Abuse of children. Okay. Let me see if I can find anything else on this. I mean, that right there is bullying. The teacher bullied the child. To be honest with you, that was bullying.
Absolutely.
You know?
He probably gave up his license so he could collect his pension, because if he was fired, who knows if he would have gotten it.
Oh.
So there was probably money involved in that decision.
That is terrible. Oh, here we go. So now, Lewis versus County. Oh, now he's suing. Todd Lewis brought a lawsuit against the County of Westchester under Child Victims Act, alleging sex. Wait a minute, this is something else. That's a different person. Wait a minute. Different person. Let me go back. Unless that's the same person. It could be. I don't know. I don't know, but let's see. I want to find out what is the outcome of this case right here. Hang on a minute. New Jersey teacher accused. It's talking about surrendering his license. It's a violent crime against a child. I think it is. I absolutely think it is. I don't see where it's been a teacher was
What
arrested.
about all the trauma that
this was a year ago.
What about all the trauma that he put the kids in the class through witnessing that?
Exactly.
He should be charged for that as well. For every single child that was in that room, he should be charged.
Oh my God, that is bullying to the 10th degree right there. And you wonder why kids bully other kids. Come on, it's taught at home, it's taught at the school, everywhere you look, because people are not responsible for themselves. They just don't take. Oh my, that's terrible, just terrible. So Lewis was arrested. I'm trying to find if there's what happened in this case. I want to know if he actually got jail time. Don't tell me it's still dragging around out there. That would be ridiculous. Both accused were released on pretrial monitoring and are not to have any contact with minors. Oh, they've got ankle monitors, both of them. Oh my God, unbelievable. You're right, Mom, it up. It's unbelievable. I don't understand. Oh my God.
No, I'm sure.
Okay, so.
Probably is.
I wonder why it's not been to trial yet. It absolutely should have already been handled. That was a year ago. There's no reason for it to still be out there. I mean, last December. Wow. Okay, let's see what the next one is here. Just crazy. Oh, my God. What's the next one over here about something like this?
He was placed on administrative leave.
And he gave it right, so he wouldn't lose his pension. He don't deserve that pension. I don't care how long he worked for. He knew better. He absolutely knew that was child abuse. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's see, what's the next one over here? I'm just going through these right here. There's just so many of them. It's like, where do you start? Oh my God. Let's see. Oh, no, she had heart surgery. Hang on a minute. I don't know. So many negative things. Let's see. Here's something. No, not her. Not her. That's not that. We don't want to talk about that one. Let's see. Here we go. PA man accused of killing another man after catching him having sex in a truck with the mom. This is horrible, guys. Okay? Horrible. Okay. Dylan Long, 24, became enraged when he saw his mother with Robert Hagen Jr. and then shot him, police alleged. This sounds like the movie Sling Blade, doesn't it? Sounds like Carl over here. A Pennsylvania man is facing serious criminal charges after he allegedly fatally shot a man who was having sex with his mother in a truck outside their home. I wonder what mental health goes along with this. We're going to find out, right? On Saturday, October the 18th, Dylan Lane, 24, was arrested and charged in connection with the shooting death of Robert Edward Hagen Jr., according to a release from the Pennsylvania State Police Department. They're the ones leading the investigation. Long is charged with one count of criminal homicide, one count of aggravated assault, and it was in the second degree, and one count of recklessly endangering another person, rated as a misdemeanor of the second degree, according to the online records. To me, they're all felony, should not be misdemeanor at all. He remains held in the Cambina County Prison without bond, thank God. The deadly incident unfolded about 3:45 a.m. on October 18th when police responded to a call about a shooting at a residence in the Heritage Lane in Jackson Township and found a deceased man inside of a truck in front of the yard. According to the affidavit obtained by People, the man's pants were around his ankles. It's not funny, I'm so sorry. And the driver's side door was open per the affidavit. The rear driver's side window was smashed out. According to the affidavit, Hagen and Lane's mother and sister had allegedly been out drinking before returning home. Lane's sister went into the house, but her mother stayed in the truck with Hagen, where they proceeded to have a little fun. I'm not going to say the word, all right? The affidavit alleges that Lane became enraged when he saw his mother and Hagen engaging in this activity in the truck. Lane's mother, Angela Langham, said Lane came out to the truck and confronted them with a bright light attached to a gun and she could hear Lang screaming for Hagen to get the hell off, to get off of her, right? So he's screaming at, I'm not sure, is it the mother screaming at the guy to get off of her, or is it the boy screaming at the guy to get off his mother? Let's reread that. So he had a bright light, with Lang screaming for Hagen to get off of her, the affidavit alleged. Hagen complied and got back into the driver's seat. Lang then, he goes, sometimes you can't help but laugh. It's the shock. I mean, I know, Mom, and I know it is kind of shocking what's going on here. But it's senseless, though. I mean, it should have never happened. So then he goes, he gets back into the driver's seat and then allegedly tried to shove the nozzle of the gun through the driver's side window, but was unsuccessful because the window was not down far enough. As Langham pleaded with her son to stop, he allegedly smashed out the back window on the driver's side and then fired his 9mm handgun twice through the back of the seat, hitting him in the upper torso. Hagen tried to back he tried to back the truck out of the driveway, but when he felt unconscious, it rolled into the front yard. Langham stopped the truck by pulling Hagen's leg off the gas pedal and pushing the brake pedal with her hand. This is horrible, guys. When she asked her son to call 911, he allegedly asked why, to which she replied, "You shot him." Lang called 911 and said, "I just shot someone in my driveway." When asked what happened, Lang allegedly replied, "He was out here effing my mother in my own effing driveway." Oh my God, terrible. Oh, when asked how many shots he fired, Lang allegedly replied, 2 shots, before saying, I effed up, man. This was out of control, man. He said he was upset that Hagen and his mother had been, hooking up for the past few days. Oh my goodness. Lang is scheduled to appear in court for a preliminary hearing on the 27th.
Why would his son be that irate over his mother with a man? There's more to this story.
I think there is more to this story. My question is, how old is Hagen? How old is the man?
What? I mean,
18.
A son would be like,
Dylan
my son would be like, Mom, that's disgusting. But to be that enraged because a man was with your mom, that's not normal behavior. That's not normal.
Okay, so Hagen was 55. And I don't know how old the mother is, but she had to be at least close to that age because the son, Dylan Lane, was 24. So it's not like it wasn't an age-appropriate thing. Yeah, there's more to this story. I wish we knew what the whole story. Well, we might want to find out what the whole story is. I think I will find out. So we'll just take another picture of this one, and we'll go get the information for that and figure out what happened here, because that's not normal. And why was he so mad? Is it something to do with his sister? Was it his friend first? Was he, what's really going on there? Because something is going on there for sure. Terrible. It's not funny, but it is kind of funny. Mom is right. Mom ended up is right. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. It's not that I'm not laughing at him. It's just, it's so wild. You would never expect something like that to happen, period. God almighty, man. What's wrong with people? We don't know. Oh my God. What's this other? Hang on a minute. There's another little story down here that was kind of weird. Just a minute. Oh Lord. I mean, it's just like there's 3 rows and there's just rows and rows and rows. It's like stories from all over the United States or everywhere that there's some kind of a story. It's on this People page. It's very interesting. So I was just glad I found it. Here we go.
Kind of a weekly update of everything that's going on in the world.
It sure is. I mean, God almighty, it's everywhere. So many. What's this guy's deal? Let's see, who is this? That's somebody being, that's just criticism, bullying. What's this one right here? Florida line cook. It's a little bit funny, okay? Florida line cook accused of stealing secret recipes from a restaurant. Okay, this is kind of a funny, but not funny. All right, so he's stealing the secret recipes from this restaurant. Oh, God. Oh, boy. The trade secrets is considered a 2nd or 3rd degree felony in Florida. A line cook has been accused of stealing secret recipe books from the restaurant where he worked. Carlos Francisco Gutberg Marquez, he's 50-year-old line cook at Mardisquio, Miami, in Doral, Florida, was charged with theft of trade secrets after he confessed to stealing 3 recipe books from the restaurant. The restaurant, which serves Venezuelan and Caribbean fusion cuisine, noticed that the cookbooks were missing in October and contacted the police. Upon reviewing the surveillance footage, so sad, he's caught on surveillance footage. The surveillance footage to the restaurant staff allegedly saw him taking the 2 cookbooks on October the 12th and another on the 19th. The outlet reported that Madisco of Miami then contacted police, who also reviewed the footage and went to arrest Marquet at his second job at the Shemaz Bazaar Food Hall. There, Marquet was detained without incident. When police informed the line cook as to why he was being arrested, Marquet he told the authorities in Spanish, "It's in my bike," per NBC Miami. He then produced one of the recipe books. It was on his moped. Mom goes, how foolish could he have easily just a video? I mean, he could have just taken pictures of them, right? And he would have had the recipes. I guess he didn't think about doing that. So sad. That's actually a sad story. It's a little bit funny, but it is sad. He told him where the books were and he gave them back, right? But he was granted a pretrial release on an alternative bond of $2,500 on the condition that he stayed away from the restaurant. He'll probably just get a little. I think he'll probably end up with probation or something like that. They're not gonna just throw him in prison for that. I'll tell you one thing that's interesting about that, and it's sad too. Now listen, this is another problem over here. Y'all remember me talking about the 13-year-old child who he has autism. He was picked up by ICE and held. Okay, he was held at the ICE place in Houston. He had an emergency appendicitis, right? He goes to the hospital and he has the surgery. When he gets out of the surgery, he is taken back to the ICE facility and kept there. So then we have the mayor and all these other people trying to get him released to the custody of his mother. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether he was here legally or illegally. He is a 13-year-old child. He is not in control. It was not his choice. It was his mother's choice. Mama goes, that's not legal to do that. But I would think less likely to be right. You're right, Mama. He should have just taken the pictures. So I have been trying to monitor that situation with this 13-year-old child. It is a big fight. And he's not the only one. There's also a 15-year-old child that was in the same situation where he was picked up for something he was doing. It was discovered that he was here illegally with his parents, and he was taken and put in an ICE facility. Right? These are children. I don't understand how that is happening. It does not make any sense at all. Why are you taking these kids? Why aren't you taking them home to their parents? And if you're going to take the kids, you need to take the parents too. If they were all here illegally, you don't just split them up like that and take on the kid. What is going on here? Sprinkled. Isn't that just horrible?
That's crazy. That's just insane.
It's insane. Insane. Let me see if I can find the other story on what happened with him. Mama says, it's absolutely terrifying to hear about that young man. We need to have a come to Jesus moment, as they say, find a way to not let these things happen. Keep them together with their family. All of them. I agree with that. I mean, he was not, the little boy.
What? There's no benefit for taking those children like that. There's absolutely no benefit for it whatsoever.
I'm going to go back to the story on him. Held in an ICE facility. Oh my God. And the mayor's like, well, we're going to get him out. We're going to help do this. We're going to help do that. Well, how in the hell is he still there? What in the world is going on there? Let's see. Let me go back over here to this. Goodness. I could not believe. I could not believe it. I just could not believe it. No, I'm not going to put it on. I don't want to do this video. Hang on. Here's the CNN story. Okay, so this started on October the 15th. Okay. Let me make sure it's the right one. Okay, okay, listen to this one. Any mother adores. Okay, Mommy goes, I don't mean that. Yeah, we did not. Yes, okay, she goes, I don't mean that to deport all of them in a malicious way. I just can't comprehend taking children alone. Something's way off with that. Please keep us updated. Does he have parents? It's so awful. Yes, he does. And she's worked, and she has came forward and said, God, get my child out of there. She even got to visit him, and she got to visit him in the hospital for 1 hour. And then after he was released from the hospital, take him back to the ICE facility. Elizabeth says, yeah, we did the No Kings, and there's still a lot of deep-seated hatred, bigotry, and racism going on out there. A lot of nice people, too. The world is a strange place. ICE are proud boys. It is strange out there. And I understand that there's legal things going on with all that. I mean, I get it, all that, but this was not a 13-year-old unaccompanied child that just showed up over here. He lived at home with his mother. They were out selling some items on the side of the road, just trying to make some money. He got separated from them, and they couldn't find him. And then when they did find him, he's made some statement about not having parents. I mean, he's got a level of autism that's I think level 2, level 3, not a level 1, but he's, So here we go. This is this little guy right here. Oh, let me see. No, that's see. There's a 13-year-old, and there's one in Virginia. There's one in Massachusetts. There's one in Houston, Texas. Now, why are we got 3 kids right here? So let me get the right one. So let me pull this up about the child in Houston, because I need to make sure that he got out of there. Because last I heard, they were working to get him out, but that was a week ago in Houston. Hang on a second, guys. Then there's another one that was in a facility, and he's thinking that he's going to get out. Well, then he's calling his mother saying, "Mother, they transferred me to another state. They moved the child from one state to another." I could not believe it. Could not believe they did that. Okay. Let's see. Where's this one? What is that? I'm trying to find a little story about this little boy in Houston, Texas. Here it is. It's a damn face. I don't go to Facebook. I don't like Facebook. But here's the story about this. Okay, let me go back. Oh, God, over there. Oh no, I don't want to go to the Facebook story because I don't like Facebook and I don't want people contacting me. Blah blah blah. So, no, that's son of a gun. Come on, man. This damn phone. Stop it. I want to go back to the other one. Okay, so let's just pull it back up this way. I'm sorry, guys. It's a 13-year-old. Okay, he has surgery. I can't believe it. Into the ICE facility. When they take them to these ICE facilities, you're talking about children that are just being thrown amongst all kinds of adults that are, all kinds of criminals from all different kind of places. I mean, oh boy. So the recent event was a 13-year-old boy who, after being arrested for an incident, was transferred to an ICE detention facility. This happens despite the boy having a recent foot surgery and being, this was a different one. There's 2 of them. This is the one in Virginia. Wow. He had surgery on his foot. And so he's in a walking boot, right? The situation sparked a strong reaction when the communities that are demanding return this child to his mother. Here's the incident. The 13-year-old was arrested after an incident at a bus stop, where he was turned over to ICE, which moved him out of the state to a detention facility in Virginia, from Massachusetts to Virginia. At the time of his arrest, the boy had a recent foot surgery and was still recovering in a walking boot. The boy's situation has drawn criticism from the community, and it should have, right? That should have never happened. The arrest and transfer to ICE occurred after the boy's initial arrest by local police. ICE appears to have activated independently. They acted independently on their own, told themselves it was okay to do this, right? And just went and got the minor. At that point, this became a big highlighted story, and the community leaders are very upset. So I'm upset about it too. Any mother adores getting phone calls from her children. For Miss Berteau, they are now a lifeline and the only way she has to talk to her 13-year-old son, who is facing the world alone. I only talk to him, never to any officials. Nobody will talk to her. She just gets to talk to him. Why is anybody telling her what's going on? Makes no sense. She only speaks Portuguese. Okay, that shouldn't matter. Last Thursday, she was called by police in Everett, Massachusetts, a Boston suburb, who said her son Arthur had been arrested. She was told she needed to pick him up. Now here's the kicker. Before she could get there to pick him up, ICE come and picked him up. What gave them the authority? I don't get it. Well, he was breaking the law. Why would they go arrest him? Or did they use the arrest as see, that's the thing, Mom. Because he was breaking the law, ICE picked him up because he was here illegally. That's not fair, right? So she's calling the mother saying, you need to come pick up your child, blah, 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 because he's 13 years old. So in the meantime, she's trying to get herself to get up to the police station to pick up her child. She gets there and her child is gone. So, so after waiting in the station for more than an hour, an officer informed her Immigration and Customs had already taken him away. So, yeah, he gets arrested, and they're using that to, yeah, you're exactly right. So, they've taken him away. She's from Brazil, along with her whole family. And here's the kicker. They have a pending asylum date. They have a court date already that they're waiting to go see the judge about for their asylum. They did everything they were supposed to do. Yes, they came here illegally, but they got their date. They're ready to go to court. They're just waiting for the date to get here, right? She got here in 2021. I asked where he was being taken, and they said they weren't allowed to tell her. So Berto and her attorney, Andrew Latrulio, both told CNN that they spent days waiting to learn what led to the arrest, and the information finally came Tuesday afternoon. Everett Mayor Carlo de Muria, there's lots of names here, said in a news conference a teenage boy whom he declined to name because he's a juvenile was arrested last week after a credible tip, accusing him of making a violent threat against another boy at a public school, right? He makes a threat at a boy at a public school. He ends up getting arrested. We got kids over here bullying another little girl who's 10 years old. She takes her own life, and nobody gets arrested. De Maria says police did not contact ICE about the juvenile's arrest and is not targeting immigrants in the city, which he said has a sizable undocumented population. But he was vague about how federal authorities came to know about this case and took the teen away within hours. ICE operates independently and has the authority to access certain law enforcement databases and take action on its own accord. Latrulio said Tuesday night he was still trying to obtain the police report. Are you kidding me? The best of my knowledge, this is the first time a juvenile has been taken by ICE from the police department. Okay? Now, Berto's case is drawing local outrage and nationwide attention as the Department of Homeland Security officials publicized it with a claim that is contradicted by local police. A judge, so now there's a controversy there. They're one saying no, they told us about it, right? A judge ordered ICE to explain the boy's detention. Okay, so now the judge is pissed off about it, and rightfully so. After learning her son was detained by ICE, Berto's immigration attorneys took the case to federal court, and a judge in Massachusetts ordered the government to either explain by Tuesday night why he was detained, or why it's justified, or give him the opportunity to be released on bond. Released on bond? It was not clear Wednesday afternoon whether the explanation had been filed by the deadline. A judge agreed to allow the filing under seal, but the court document was not listed on the online case docket, and it should have been sealed, right? So Elizabeth is saying Johnson is blocking Adriana something in Tucson who won the Senate. Okay, so there's something about their disenfranchised. Okay, there's a fight in Arizona about somebody who won the case, but they're blocking it, not letting. Okay, I got it. I can't explain it. Hang on. So oh boy. We go back over here. So the judge says, okay, you got to tell us. Well, it wasn't clear, and it is sealed. It needs to be sealed. I agree 100%. Everything about a minor child's case, whether they are the victim or they are the person, it needs to be sealed, right? None of that should ever be released to the public. It should not be a frenzy to get all this information and be showing it all over the YouTube and every place else about a child's injury or what the child did. They are children. Remember that. They are children. So this detention violates his rights due to process under the Fifth Amendment. Okay, so then they filed this habeas corpus. Initially, only learned about her son's whereabouts through his phone calls. He has called her from 2 different immigration facilities, one in Massachusetts and one in Virginia. He cried a lot because he had never been away from home or his family. He was desperate, saying ICE had taken him. Berto told CNN Arthur had been home from school recently because he had a broke foot and still needed to wear a walking boot after having a cast removed. On Thursday, he told his aunt he was going to take the bus to a friend's house. It was at the nearby bus stop. He told his mother that he was arrested. The first details came not from the prosecutor, but from a post on X by the spokesperson from the Department of Homeland Security responding to the media request. Okay, this shit don't belong on X, right? Here are the facts. He posed a public safety threat. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What was his crime that he was arrested for?
I'm fixing to tell you. He said that he was arrested because he, what was it? A violent, so let me go back up here. He was a safety threat with an extensive rap sheet, including violent assault with a dangerous weapon, battery, and breaking and entering, destruction of property, Assistant Secretary said. He was in possession of a firearm and a 5 to 7 inch knife when he was arrested. Now, this has all been said. No, that's not true. McLaughlin did not share further details about the allegations, although the mayor confirmed that the presence of the knife and said there could have been a tragedy in our schools without arrest. And he's adamant that the teen did not have a firearm. Yes, he had a knife. He's saying yes, he had the knife. He was not at school, right? No gun was found. Because he is a juvenile, Arthur's case is not public, right? And it absolutely is public. We're talking about it right now. DHS did not respond Tuesday evening about the discrepancies in the statements, right? Berto, who told CNN she was shocked by the allegations, declined to comment on any criminal history and directed questions of the matter to her attorney. When asked about McLaughlin's comments that Arthur had a rap sheet, Latourell did not address it in his statement to CNN. Regardless of the nature of the allegations, they remain just that, allegations, and every individual is entitled to due process of the law. And that's true. The principle applies to even more strongly to a minor who is far below the age of legal consent. DHS is committing publicity about them telling us that he had a rap sheet is improper. It damn sure is improper. A spokesperson for ICE declined on Monday to speak about this case. So, I mean, at this point, he is still in the facility. He is still over in a facility. He has not been released to his mother. Isn't that crazy? Now, that's the one, that's, because he might be a threat to society. Wow. I'm just shocked sometimes by the crap that we're seeing here. I mean, here's the one in Houston Chronicle. This is the little boy in Houston. Oh my gosh. No, I don't want to see that. Leave me alone. I don't want to go back. I don't want them to get the newspaper. I just want to read the story. No. Mm-mm. Okay, it's not going to let me read that story because I don't have a... I'll go find it this other way. Oh boy.
I hate those. Those make me so crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Houston. Okay, here's the one from the news. All right, here we go. A Houston teen with autism, all right, held in a federal facility will undergo emergency. Okay, so he had the surgery for his appendicitis, right? So he gets the surgery. He's being held at this facility, but as an unaccompanied minor child. And now he's expected to undergo the surgery. He has the surgery. At a news conference Monday, they said that Houston stood along Emmanuel's mother, urging the federal government and the local law enforcement to reunite the two. The child has autism. Okay, and he's got the mind of, I think she said like a 4 or 5 year old. Let me look and see. This is not a shelter. This is not a place where he can leave and come back. He is in custody. So what follows after that day? We don't want to have this family go through it. It's for him to go through all of these legal hurdles in order just to be reunited with his mother. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy with the abilities of a 4 or 5 year old. He doesn't understand, right? According to the police, he had spent about 4 hours with Emmanuel before being directed by Child Protective Services to contact the Human Health and ICE. CPS directs them to contact ICE about a 15-year-old boy who's with cognitive ability of a 4 or 5 year old with autism. Does that make any damn sense? No. It is locos. It is locos. It is.
What is wrong with this country not protecting children?
I don't know. I mean, I'm shocked by this. He did when they talked to him. He gave the story he gave because he's got the mind of a 4 or 5 year old. Could they not see that something was not right? It's so easily to. I mean, it's not that he couldn't speak English. It's that he didn't understand. Okay,
that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yeah. She's only been able to communicate with her son through virtual calls. Given his developmental challenges, she worries he may not fully understand what's happening to him. No, he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand one bit about it.
No.
I'm so upset. They've got to stop this. And like the mayor's like, oh, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Right.
There's nothing productive that's coming from that situation. Not one thing. Not one thing. You're not solving any problems doing what they're doing to that little baby. Nothing.
No. These vulnerable children, these children with autism. Okay, here's the thing. Mama knows about this too. You've got this autistic child. And the first thing, these vulnerable children, they're missing. They're getting their lives are being taken by a parent, a step parent or somebody else. But the vulnerable children get it the most. I mean, how many of them are we seeing? Devlin Tate, he's autistic. Sebastian Rogers, he's autistic. How many more are there? This little boy here, he's autistic. There's so many of them. Another little boy that's missing, autistic. I don't understand. Here the whole family. Listen to this one. A family that was deported to Mexico is requesting an investigation into abuses they say they faced in U.S. detention. According to a civil rights complaint first obtained by NBC News, the mixed immigration status family, including 4 U.S. citizens' children, they were born here, okay? Oh boy. One of whom was a 10-year-old girl recovering from brain surgery, are in an area of Mexico where they say they fear for their safety. Brain surgery, right? The Texas Civil Rights Project and legal advocacy and litigation organizations representing the family filed the complaint Monday with the Department of Homeland Security and the Civil Rights Liberties. How in the world are you doing this? You've got 4 children born here in the USA to parents that were not legal, right? And they would deport all of them back to Mexico, and the child just had brain surgery. And that's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Oh my God, people. It's like I don't even know what else. I don't even know what to say. It's so horrible. Oh, it upsets me. It just upsets me so bad. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, girls. On and on and on. It is disgusting how many cases we see of all of these things happening. I just can't stand it. It makes you. Listen, I believe in doing everything, but I know we need to follow the law. I know they should have done this legally.
I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything.
But because of how this all took place, and because of the fact that Biden, but see, here's the thing: they were coming across that border before Biden, before Trump, before any of it. This has been going on a long time. So now you have all of these people that are over here, and they thought they were going to be fast tracked into having a life here in America because that's what they were promised, right? But now they're over there rounding them up, going to send them back, and all these other stuff. It is hey guys, good to see all of you. This is Woman's Warrior. Hope all is well. Everything is well. We're just talking about kids and all the things that are going on, and these poor babies being, held in ICE detention centers that are 13 years old, 15 years old, that kind of thing, not being released back to their parents. It's craziness. Absolutely crazy. So I don't understand it at all, and I wish this kind of stuff would stop. So Woman's Warrior just stopped by. So, I wonder, there's going to be story after story after story, and there's no way we could tell every single story because there's so many of them. What do you do? I don't know. I don't know what we do. I don't know how to help people. It's sickening. Anyway, we've been on here a couple of hours and just talking about everything. So for a very long time, what happened in New York, though, before we had to leave was inhumane, in my opinion. They had people coming full of lies to them and thrown in tents. It was unbelievable and blamed all around, in my opinion. Yeah, well, I kind of remember something like that. They would just put them on the bus and take them wherever, just to get them out of their city. They'd take them someplace else. Mama, do you want to come up? I'll give you the link if you want to come up and talk about it. If you want to, we can do that. Just let me know, and I certainly will. For the longest time, but it was about homeless people. Now in Texas, this was happening to homeless people because the city of Austin, and this is the truth, the city of Austin did not want them here. They would just round them up and take them to Dallas. Now that is horrible. The world is a scary place to be at this moment, and it's crazy, scary stuff. It is, Woman's Warrior. It absolutely is. And so they would just round them up and put them on the bus and take them to Dallas. Now, some of these homeless people, they want some of them want to be that way. They don't want to be in, they don't want people intervening and all that stuff. If you're not wrapping up, if you're in it, no, you can come up and talk, Mom. And I've always wanted you to come. Okay, we're gonna let Mom come up. Let me give her the link over here. If I can grab the link. Let's see, where's the link? Hang on just a second. You know, I always get so lost on here. You know that, girl. Let's see. Here we go. Copy. All right, we'll put it right here. Mommin. Let's see. So I don't know if you can grab it like this. Let's see if she can. Cause here we go. There you go, girl. There. Okay, yeah, grab that up and you can come up and talk, because you know she saw a lot of things living in New York that I've never seen, but it was terrible because they would get here in Texas, they put them on the bus and take these people to New York, busloads of them, with all kinds of promises of this, that, and the other. And so the people get over there and they think, oh, well, I'm going to get a job and I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that. Here's the problem: they can't get jobs. Where are they going to work at? It's like you're setting these people up for failure. You're setting up for, you know, generational poverty, because they come here for one thing, but they were made poor and homeless by both the promises they were given. They never, oh my God, I could just go on and on about that, girls. We're gonna let Mama talk to us about it. She'll be here in just a second, but let me get rid of this one. Let's get rid of this one. I don't know if I can anyway. So she's gonna come up. I'll let her talk a little bit. Listen, Mama has beautiful children. I don't know if you've ever been over to her channel and looked at her when she's talking about her children and everything, but her little girl is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Just beautiful, beautiful. She goes, I was with the Medical Reserve Corps and the firehouse, etc. I did a lot of volunteering, and that's why I can't fit. I just don't fit left or right or up or down. I get it. I know you've seen all kinds of things, girl. I know she has. I volunteered over at the women's shelter. I think I've talked about this a little bit before. And the thing I learned a lot at that women's shelter. I mean, I'd worked at the DA's office and been in the legal world a long time, but it was a whole different world when I volunteered over there and saw exactly what's happening on that side of it to these women. They leave their house with basically the clothes on their back and their children. That's it. They can't go back and get their things, because if they go back, they're going to get the hell beat out of them, right? She goes, I've been watching some of the Whitney Webb One Nation Under Blackmail. Oh, I need to go watch that, Elizabeth. Thank you. Let me make a note of that. I want to watch that, because it is under blackmail. You're damn right it is. I mean, anyway, I was talking about that women's shelter. And when you first go over there to volunteer, you have to take this little course with them, and they give you a bunch of information. And what I learned was so shocking about how many of them actually are killed by their spouse or their abuser before they make the choice to leave, because they will leave and go back. They will leave and go back and leave and go back. And then finally they can't leave because they're deceased, right? And their children are watching this every single time. Their children are watching it. And it just shocked me how bad it really was. And it also made me realize that I've been living in a bubble most of my life. I mean, let's be honest about that. I had no idea. Really, I had no idea. I had never seen a lot of this, a lot of what was going on. Even when I worked in the DA's office, because I worked with the courts, with the courts, not really in the victims' rights part of it, just a different part of it. You just don't see everything. You just don't see all of it. But I would just cry, because I would see these women, and a lot of them couldn't speak English. A lot of them, they had no hope of getting a job. How are they going to take care of these? How are they going to take care of their children? They're just trying to save their children, right? It was just horrifying. So I would go out and I would collect clothing for them to wear to go to a job interview. I would collect, handbags for them. I would collect makeup, whatever I could to give them once they were ready to go out and do something different, to give them a chance to look presentable as they go out into the world, to try to get a job or, whatever it is, to make them feel better about themselves, because they were already beat down mentally, physically, financially. But if you can help them feel better about themselves just one day, you've done something for them, because nobody ever stepped up to give them a hand, right? And it's heartbreaking to watch it. It was so heartbreaking. So we'll let Mom, and she'll be here in just a second. I'll just wait for her to tell me she's over here. I've just seen so many. It's so heartbreaking what I saw. Just heartbreaking, And the reason why I quit doing it was, number one, I had that back surgery, and then I was just kind of messed up for a while, because this was before I had the back surgery. So yeah, Little Red, and this is from Women's Warmer. We have now changing things. We are starting to swap it around. We make the perpetrator lose things for their behavior because we used to make the women leave everything and disrupt. Yeah, right. So now are you able to, Women's Warrior now, she's in another country, but it's basically the same concept. And I believe that what she's saying here is they have the man leave the house. They don't say, women, you take your children and get out. They're making the man leave the house. And you know what? I agree with that. I really do. Because where is the woman going to go with her children? I mean, these shelters are not, they're not designed for people to stay there, for years. So they have to find places to house them. Well, if they already have a house that the man is paying for, they deserve to live in the house. That's the way I see it. Good news, Women's Warrior, good news. Maybe the United States will start taking that approach and maybe it'll be better. I think there's so many things that could happen that don't happen because nobody says, and nobody attempts to change anything. They just let it go and let it go and let it go. I mean, it's wild. And there's a lot of things happening. What about the case over here in Texas? They live over in this mansion, and the police are called because the mother has, doped the children with NyQuil or whatever, and she's out there trying to drown them in the pond on the property. Well, they go out there. Mom is finally, the kids survived, right? But the mom and one of the children were in critical condition. So finally she gets out of the hospital, and they arrest her. But the man was arrested for cruelty to animals or something like that. When they asked the children, do you want to see your father? The children said no. They were afraid of him. They didn't want to see him. So now she gets out of the hospital. They arrest her for whatever her part was here. I'm not sure what it is yet because they haven't really said. And now the children are in CPS custody because they can't go to their father. What the hell? What's going on there? So, let's see. I don't know. Well, Mom, come on now. I wonder if she's having a hard time with that link. I don't know. Let's see. That's the only link I had, though. Oh, there she is. At the stage. Okay. There's our friend, Mom. And how you doing, girl? Good to see you.
Good. How are you?
I am good. I'm so glad to have you up. So you can tell us, oh, boy. How are your kids doing? Pretty good? I was
Pretty
just telling you,
good.
have such beautiful kids. Yes, they're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Sprinkles. How are you?
Hi.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is Sprinkled Donut. That's her real name is Sprinkled Donut. I just call her Sprinkles or Sprinkled. Anyway. I'm going to take a drink of water. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just sitting here listening to you guys and trying to do some stuff. And it is it's really kind of shocking, right? When you read some of the headlines, because there's just so many.
It never stops.
No.
And the vulnerable kids, my God. I'm looking for some statistics and see if I can find. We started off talking about dogs and zodiac signs. We're over here, then we ended up talking about bullying, and now we're over here talking about the abuse situation and the abuse of our country to these illegal. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. So I'm going to look up some information right quick. Vulnerable kids.
Yeah, like my Nana always used to say, and it's cliche because it's overused, but that evil doesn't discriminate, and you'll find it in anything and everything. Just like it's not, I know we say evil like too much for everything, but you can find horrible stuff now, I feel like, in just about anything, from teachers to, it could be, it's just everywhere. If we look for it, I feel like it's everywhere. But sometimes I feel like the algorithms show us just one thing, and then we think, oh, we can handle this one thing, and we're losing sight of all these other things. And then it's like a rinse and repeat. You never get anywhere.
You're right. You're right about that. Because we are stuck in an algorithm where like most of us only see the missing children, right? We don't see all the other part because that's the algorithm we're kind of in about on YouTube anyway. And a lot of us don't watch regular TV because we're always over here, watching YouTube, getting the news from YouTube, finding out whatever's going on in the world from YouTube. I don't watch normal TV. There's nothing on. So I just go over to YouTube and, find out all my information over there, or from the internet. I don't really watch TV, so many things we don't see, right? So,
Oh yeah.
This is kind of interesting. Approximately 7 in 1,000 U.S. children were victims of maltreatment in 2023, with neglect being the most common form and children under 10 being the most at risk. Globally, an estimated 140 million children have lost at least one parent, and roughly 15 million have lost both parents. And the vulnerability is also linked to poverty, poor health, and increasing number of children experiencing violence and exploitation. 7 out of 1,000 under 18.
15 million have lost parents.
Mm-hmm.
Both their parents.
Yeah. Globally.
So I wonder how many of those children are now in with family or placed in custody of the state, or I wonder where that goes from there.
I want to know that too. Here you go. Children with a lower socioeconomic status, particularly those with incomes below 200% of the federal poverty level, are more likely to experience poor health outcomes and have less access to care. I believe that 100%. I mean, look at little that little Haro boy, and that child. It's like there are no doctor records. None have been discussed or found of doctor records of that child seeing a doctor. He could have just disappeared any old time. Nobody knows when he really disappeared because he was not being taken to the doctor. Well, they couldn't take him to the doctor because there was something wrong with him because of their monsters. They hurt him. That poor child. How many other kids are like that? How many kids are born at home? They don't have any record of these kids. They never go to school. They don't get Social Security numbers. They're just, whatever. I mean, oh God, it's out there. It's absolutely out there. It's sickening. Just sickening. So, Mom, when you lived in New York, you're talking about, and this is a good point too. Elizabeth's talking about this one nation under blackmail, right? And they take these people and they would just, oh, her mic is off. Oh, where's your mic off, girl? Did you turn it off?
Oh yeah.
Who, me? Oh.
Yeah, Mom,
when I'm not talking, I always pause.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. All right. I'm sorry. Thank you. They were taking these people from the border and just dumping them off in New York, right? With the promise of whatever. And they've just basically created this horrible level of poverty and homelessness and everything you could imagine that included children who didn't even belong to these people. They were just giving it to somebody to take them across the border because the parents wanted a better world for them. There are, I think the last I heard, 300,000 of these children are just unaccounted for. Where are they?
I wouldn't doubt if there's way more, because up until, what was the last time I went down there? I think in July was the last time I went down towards one of the places we used to volunteer. And they were still distributing these brochures and things, of all these promises that didn't exist. We couldn't afford crap anymore, pardon my language. Like the cost of living, everything that was happening, because there's a substantial number of extreme wealthy people in certain areas. So it keeps everything afloat, right? But the average families, middle class, upper middle class, it was already bad. We already had tons of homelessness because people were in between, the rent hikes. And so it was just outstanding to me. Like, I couldn't believe the disconnect of reality. There was no resources available, there wasn't. And they kept still wanting to bring, like, there was like some people that were out there that were doing everything opposite, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And then people would be coming in, and that's why I got rid of the news a long time ago for all kinds of things, because
right,
none of this was true. There wasn't these elaborate hotel rooms, except they did happen, right? But not for the overwhelming majority of people. And they're thinking that is what is going to happen. These are accommodations, and they're just being told all this stuff. And they're just, it didn't exist. And then there'd be these huge tents. Everybody would be put into these places. There was one by the park in Brooklyn. And it was just inhumane on a level that I couldn't understand, no matter what your political party was. But it had happened for years, right? We saw it for years. And nobody cared about the kids. I mean, when you go down there now, you'll have tons of kids just coming over trying to sell you candy and sell you things like that. But then there's that other level with the medical, right? We've had tons of kids that when they do have certain rare conditions and stuff, we had that mom, remember what was her name, that took her life because of what her daughter had. That was a big case recently that they made the movie out of.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's like nothing is seemingly black and white with it. It's either extreme on one end or another. It's like, where's the normalcy in any of it? Because you're not going after and taking care of the kids that need it. You're not keeping documentation to know that these kids are being taken care of. We're bringing more kids in, but then you're going after certain parents that are doing what they need to do. It's so upside down. And you can't talk about it like how we could talk,
Right.
Because nobody wants to talk about it.
Well, if you talk about it, then we look bad. What are you talking about? You can't do that. God.
Oh, it's awful.
Well, now here's the fact check. It says the claim originates that there's 300,000. According to the fact check. Now, I don't know if this is, because this is old information. I don't believe it's true. There's 32,000 unaccompanied migrant children that failed to appear for their scheduled immigration court hearings. Okay, well, that's the ones that had hearings scheduled, right? An additional 291,000 were not served with a notice to appear, which is the document required to start the immigration process, right? The total of these two figures is how they come across with the 300,000 unaccounted for children. Now, that makes no sense at all, does it? How in the world do you have notice to appear not being given, but only 32,000 actually had scheduled immigration hearings? What the hell is that?
Well, I thought last time I checked in New York, wasn't it like a 13-year waiting list? Like if they don't like to just have the hearing?
I mean, how's that going to work? I mean, there's like this period, like I believe it's when you come over, you can get a work visa or whatever for so long. And then after that expires, you have to do something. You know what Women's March says it's happening in the UK as well. But because they can't bring the immigrants here anymore, now they're going to other countries where it's causing the same thing to happen, right? I mean, I want to know, what is that period of time that after so long, you either have to become a resident or you have to leave. Well, if they can't even get a hearing to get their, oh my God.
Well, they also did all kinds of messed up stuff because my stepfather, at the time, my mom divorced him, but they still get along and stuff. And he was from El Salvador, and it took him a long time. And then my husband, he worked with a lot of people that were going through the process. My one cousin took 8 years. Her husband, he just became a citizen. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. And on top of it, they stopped a lot of the things that we had back in New York. I don't know about the other states. I think it was federal, and then also they had state levels of the sponsorships where you could be sponsored, by your employer, and it would help the process and lower the cost. We just did stuff upside down, right? And I couldn't understand, like, what are you doing? And it creates a lot of hostility and vitriol from people that went through hell to become a citizen. That's why I was like, this has gotten so toxic now where we were. And I think it really depends on where we live, really. Not everything works in every place, right? It's different.
Right.
It's just shocking to me. I mean, the kids being everywhere was when I was like, I just don't know. We have to have some sort of change. You can't have children all over like that. You don't know what's happening to them. How are they here? Who are they? they can't talk, it's just, it's,
Yeah. Woman's Warrior says they're being used like cattle, just all smoke and mirrors. Half the children disappear without a trace. I agree with that because there's no checks and balance on them. I mean, there's so many of them. How can they? I mean, who's gonna be the agency that leads the checks and balances for something like that? Where does it go? I mean, oh, let me fix it. For some reason, I just kind of like messed myself up. Let me get back up where it was. Oh, there I am. I'm sorry, guys. I was like, oh, I can't see you. I have to plug in my laptop. This is my plug. Hang on. I mean, I don't understand what they thought was going to happen with all these people. How did they think we could absorb all these people and all these children? Who was going to support all these children? Look at what's happening in the school
not possible.
systems. The school systems. All right. I'm just going to use my son's high school for an example. So my son's high school has a grade, I think A has an A. His elementary has an A, but the junior high that he went to has a C now. What happened is they redid the districting, and so all of the people that from this one area, which is where all of the little what's the word I want to use? Spanish speaking, the English is second language, whatever. They all live in this one area, and so in the little town where I live, which is north of Austin, so all of these children get shuffled into this one school. And so it brings down this grade of the school because English is not their first language, and they are behind from day one. They are behind, and so it just makes the whole school district look bad. I mean, you got to educate all of them, but you're slowing down some kids to bring these other kids up to the level, and just creates this mass havoc over in the school systems. When you're shutting down public schools because of their grades within the Texas school districts, the state of Texas anyway, but you're not thinking about how they got to that. How did they get to that level? You're not fixing the problem. You're just shutting the school down and then shuffling the kids off someplace else. How is that fixing anything? It's not.
Well, it's made things a lot worse, I feel like. I mean, my mom took early retirement after my bio mom. After almost 31 years, I think she worked in West Harlem. And it just got so bad because all of the kids were suffering. It wasn't helping anyone, right? It didn't help anybody. And then that was our breaking point, was when we couldn't get our daughter any services, because even the private services, they went through the roof because, like I said, there was a very high number of extremely wealthy people in certain areas, right, of New York, California, everywhere. There's just certain areas that have much more wealth. So they could pay 10 times the amount. So everybody would take the private jobs and get paid, $400 an hour. I can't do that.
Yeah. Right.
And the reason is that they have all of these children with the laws that we had that would get immediate early intervention services if they're under 3, all of these resources for, autism and stuff that's critical to their quality of life. Like, it's the difference between having any kind of quality of life or just kind of being without any ability, right, to communicate or to all kinds of things. And they're putting the children into these programs that are behavioral. They're not something that anybody in these programs with their skill sets can even attempt to help. One reason is they're not autistic.
Right.
They're abused or they're traumatized or all different reasons, right? It's not the same level. And then the other children that did need, whatever it was that they were going through, so they can't get it because it's affecting all the kids if it was a little class or something. And it's just a mess and nobody's benefiting. It's not helping anyone.
No.
And it did the same thing with the school, what you went through, same thing with our school. And they were going to try one day English, one day Spanish, and then make all the children that already had lost all this time and are going through, trying to get used to being back in school after years of the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you want them to learn another language. I took it 3 times. I had a stepfather that spoke, he was from El Salvador. I still can't retain it. I try. But you're going to do that
Well,
to the kids. It's not helpful. Like there's got to be something, right? That we have to come to some common ground. This is not working. It's hurting people. Everybody's getting harmed, in my opinion.
well, and you're going to end up with a whole generation of basically, I'm not being mean, I'm not being rude, I'm not. Just hang on for a minute when I say this. A bunch of almost illiterate people.
Absolutely.
Because they're not being, they're being taught to take tests, really, because they do these STAR tests, whatever. So they're only being taught just enough to pass this test so that the schools get funding from the government. It's a big old, cluster. So that's the first problem. Then you got the other problem with these kids who are not behavioral problems. They are actually, your dyslexic, your children with autism, these kind of things that need a different kind of learning. They need extra help. And you got those people being stuck in a class with people who have behavioral problems, which is not the same thing. And then that affects their learning. They're not learning. So it's like, at what point do we stand up and say, look, y'all need to, we need to get vouchers and send every one of our children to private schools? We can't do that either. I mean, what are we going to do to fix it? I just don't know how. I don't know how to. Okay, my child's graduating. He's off at university. Good. Okay, but if I had another child, it would be a serious problem because of the place where we live, he would start out that elementary. He would go to that junior high, and then he'd be funneled over to this other high school. And it's that in that intermediate, and when they're in the junior high, that's a very important time in a child's learning. It is. I mean, you got elementary, which is a little bit different, but when you get to junior high, that's when you really start having to learn. And if you're not taught what you needed in elementary, you're not going to be successful in junior high. Then you're going to go to high school and just be the dropout. I mean, God, I could just get on the sermon about that. But
well, that's what my mom was saying she couldn't handle, right?
Yeah.
Because they had so many children that were being put, from shelter to shelter, house to house. Half of them couldn't understand anything in English at all. And she was in the middle school for the last couple of years, and she was just devastated. She'd come home completely devastated, and she worked there, like I said, for 31 years. She used to have kids that ended up starting to meet her from her school that graduated and walk with her. She never had to do that in 20 something years until I think 2021, I think. And that was it. She was like, I'll come back one day. It was so sad. And you can't blame the kids, but they're not. The thing is, it depends on where they're from, because some of the kids that were like 12, 10, they were like adults. Like, it's hard to explain until you actually are there and it's shocking.
I get it,
yeah.
All right. I mean, but
so I hope we could figure it out.
I hope
they don't deserve that. They're kids. No kid deserves it.
No kid deserves to be put in ICE custody. No kid that's an American citizen deserves to be shipped off to Mexico because their parents are illegally here, but they were born here. I mean, they're born here. They're American citizens.
None of the kids deserve any of this. I agree. None of it.
The kids didn't make the choice to do anything. The parents made the choice. And then you got these kids that absolutely, when this happened, they were at the border. They knew that they were going to be starting to shut this border down in Texas. There were people in this. I saw this on the Border Patrol. There's this show, and they talk about this. And this guy came on. He was talking about there was 3 or 4 kids that he saw just being handed over. Take my kid. To strangers, and they're taking them across there because they never did any DNA to know, does this child even belong to this family? They don't even know who this kid is. So the kid gets over here and they're just dumped. They can't send them back across. They don't know who they are.
Well, and they do that. Some people would use the children just to come too. They'll take them just to. It's horrible.
It is horrible.
It's horrible
because it is horrible. KJ Maxx says, I work in a triangle environment, and there is certainly types of frustration without appropriate support. It's easier here because as a smaller nearby countries, we have more language exposure. KJ Mack, are you in the United States? I recall not having that in the U.S. It's just the nature of the size of the country. Okay.
Well, I think what
Mhm.
I was seeing was there's so many different languages and so many different dialects too
Oh yeah.
in New York City from all of the different immigration and the migration or whatever the correct term is. I never know and I don't want to offend anybody.
Right, right.
Um, that it's just
So KJ
astounding.
Maxx, she's in Europe, and okay, so that's what her. Now I understand why she said that. I get it now. But
Oh,
that, like, oh, it's the melting pot. Oh, we all started from, I get all that, but the thing is, if we don't have strong children, we don't have a future at all. I mean, who's going to take care of us? What's going to happen? I mean, you can have a bunch of elderly old people living in a world where the people who they raised up cannot even take care of them because they don't have the education level to. Anyway, that's another
well,
whole
that
thing.
and that's what like our neurologist told us. If he was like, I know he was seeing this too often with certain types of neurodivergent, and they were doing tests on her and she was in a lot of studies trying to understand what type of autism my daughter had,
Right.
because it wasn't cookie cutter, but she had no ability to really communicate. And he's like, I know that if your child, like some of the other children, get the, what we know works, right? It doesn't work
Right.
for everyone, but certain things that we know work for exactly what is going on. She may be able to have an average quality of life, but children have windows of learning, right? A development, no matter what. Our brain develops, and, they're like sponges at different times. But we were running out of time. And we were talking about, like, what does this mean on a greater scale once we knew where we were going to move and how we could afford to do immediate private, to catch up, to try to fix whatever we
Yeah,
could, because that's what you do as a parent. You'll try to do anything you can within reason, right? Whatever you can.
that's right.
And he said he was horrified to even think, because there's so many Haleys right now that
Mm-hmm.
nobody realizes. So what is going to happen if we didn't have that opportunity to come together, my husband and I, and go against our family? He was at his job over 20 years. Nobody wanted us to leave, but we knew
Right.
we had to. If we couldn't do that, she wouldn't be doing anything she's been able to do. And we know that because she's 6.5, right?
Oh
She's the
yeah.
anomaly. But I don't believe it's an anomaly. It's not.
I
It's
think
the
it's the
reality.
norm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what about
KJ
all of
Maxx.
these children? What's going to happen to them? How are they going to function?
I mean, KJ Maxx says the immigration waves have affected us differently, but it's equally difficult at the moment. It's too much, too fast, and the schools are affected. As someone who worked in the U.S. with special needs, autism, Downs, and other, I can only imagine how much it has changed in the last 10 years. Here we are, more equipped, and it's still not enough. Thank you, KJ Maxx. Thank you. The autism, the spectrum it's a spectrum. A lot of these kids are, it's not all the same. Exactly. You're right. It's not all the same. There are some children that you to look at them, you would not even know. You wouldn't even know that they really, had that problem. It's when you start talking to them and whatever. I mean, it's just a lot of these kids, if their parents would have taken the time, and I know that not everybody can do this, would take the time to learn how to help them learn so that they could work with them at home instead of just expecting school to do it all. Because let's face it, the school cannot do it all. It all starts at home. You have to work with them at home and work with the school and just get a program down between all of y'all, a group effort there to get these kids raised up and taught. I mean, autism is such a different bird than Down syndrome or some of these other problems that children have, because there's so many different factors and they're all so, they talk about level 1, level 2, level 3 of autism or your double E's or all these different things. And I just think that a lot of these children, you have done the right thing, but a lot of these parents just don't even, they just, the school takes care of it. No, the school doesn't take care of it. You need to help take care of it. It's wild to me. When I see that, Sebastian Rogers, that's a perfect example right there. Perfect example. Ugh. I know we don't really want to talk about him, but from what I've seen, it just makes me sick. But anyway, so Woman's Warrior says, Mom, and I can't imagine how it must feel to feel so worried and scared, frustrated, and wanting to make the best life for your little girl. God bless you. And that's right. God bless her. I think stepping out of your comfort, selling, moving to someplace you don't even know, this didn't start out so well, but I think now you kind of got it, worked out where it's working well, was just an incredible feat. I mean, people who will step up and do that for their children, those children have a chance. They have a chance. These others, they don't have a chance in hell. I mean, they're just going to be lost in the world someday. Because who's going to take care of them when their parents pass away?
Exactly.
It's a lifetime commitment. So.
Yeah, I have a grandson. He's 10 now. And one of my greatest fears is when I'll be gone. And then his parents will be gone. He's never going to be able to live on his own. He won't be able to function on his own. Where's he going to end up? I think about that all the time. Like, what's going to happen? I call him the baby because he's the youngest one. But I always say, what's going to happen to the baby? We're all going to be gone. Where's he going to be? And it's terrifying.
It is.
It absolutely is terrifying. Because, all of these parents, a lot of these parents have that problem. I mean, are they just going to end up in some school like they're, like in an asylum somewhere? Is that what's going to happen? I mean, what is really going to happen if they don't ever? That's a horrifying thought.
Well, that's why I was like, this is really bad. And I started to, realize that unless we want to, we can help everybody, right? But that's what I'm worried about, because there's going to be such an astronomical, I feel, kids that need help that wouldn't necessarily have needed that same level of help.
The government, and everybody says, oh, it's not the government's problem. Well, yeah, I mean, the government knows there needs to be some kind of something nationally that every state has to work within for these kids. And they're saying, oh, well, they're going to get rid of the, what is it called? Education board. Now, a lot of these boards, education, all these different things, really it's just big salaries for somebody because they don't really do much, right? I don't see them make any difference. Look what's going on in our school district. Look what's going on here, there, and everywhere. And it's like, well, that's because it's at the state level. Well, if this had been done right, it would not be at the state level. But this has been going on for so long, and nobody ever made a change. And then all of a sudden, we're just going to get rid of the Board of Education. What's that going to do for these kids? What's the check and balance is going to be then? I mean, oh my God. I'm so concerned about a lot of these kids and what's going to happen. I mean, you can't just live for today, people. We got to think about these kids and their future and what's going to happen to them when we're not here. I thank God every day that my child is able to go to University of Texas, he's going to pre-med, able to do these things for himself. Because had it not been for, by the grace of God, the spectrum area, you know what I mean? It's like, it could have been different. Anyway, I don't want to talk about him. It just bothers me so bad. And I don't even know where to start. And how many other kids are like that? What's going to happen to this whole world? Maybe, is Lori Vallow and those people going to step in and save everybody? Shit, I'm sorry. I'm just making a little joke right there because I don't know. I don't even know where to start anymore. I don't know. KJ Max says, I feel for you on that planning. I have a Downs aunt who is now in her 40s, and my grandmother just passed away. She spent her last 10 years preparing for her in a group home. It was such a stress for her. I bet it was. I'm hearing some damn traffic out there. What time is it? Oh, okay, right. All right. Anyway, I know people who have children like that too. I know in a family they have 2 autistic children. Both of them are like, one's the worst it can be, and the other one, but neither one of them can ever live by themselves, ever. Is it fair for the brother to have to to keep them? Is it fair for the brother to take on that responsibility when the parents pass away? We all think that that's what should happen, right? But is that really fair? Is that really, how's that going to affect him and his family? You think it's not
it
going
really
to, but I bet it
depends.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on, because some don't take no for an answer. That's something that I found interesting when we did the planning in case she does need care. They have you do the planning and the financial stuff and try to help you. I don't think things are going to change. I think it's just going to change in different ways in different places where people are just going to focus on whoever's in their areas and stuff. That's what worries me.
Only what's in front of you, right?
Yeah,
right.
I don't think it's going to be,
Only in your bubble. Don't come into my lane. Stay over there, That's pretty much what it is. Out of sight, out of mind. That's pretty much what it is. It's terrible. Women's Warrior says, I feel incredibly lucky and grateful for to live in the UK. We have lovely residential homes for vulnerable adults whose parents have passed away, and they are free for those who don't have any money. We all need to move to the UK.
we have them too, but try to get in them.
Oh,
we have tons of beautiful places.
But the waiting list,
Yeah.
And then who pays for it? I guess the government would pay for it, but like right now, the government shut down for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into political things because that's a whole nother animal that causes arguments and everything else, and I don't ever want to have that here. I like friendly, nice chat, and everybody's happy, but and where we can just talk about things realistically. But I don't know if there's no money if they're not paying for anything. I think they're paying SSI and they're paying Social Security out to those people. But a lot of things are not even being paid. What's going to happen there? They're just going to shut down. They're going to get back pay. What's going to happen to these? Oh, my God. And medical. Look at the cost of medical. You can't afford it. KJ, I'll be back and we have to go to Connolly for a marathon. Oh, you're going to run a marathon? Cool. My husband has decided to try this. So while I wait, I'll reach out if you're... Okay, thank you. That's fine, KJ. Good to see you. So glad you came by. Thank you so much. I don't think we're going to be on much longer. Maybe we'll stop it. We'll give it another 15 minutes or more. So that'll be fine. We can do that. We'll just come back and revisit some of this another time. But glad you came up, Mom. And I wanted to talk to you about what happened in New York, how it was. And if you saw the same things that we saw here in Texas, because I think what you saw was probably worse because they were just shipping them out of Texas to wherever, someplace else. I mean, I would go downtown Austin. I didn't see all that. We saw none of that. It would be like,
well, you didn't see it either, really. Right, I mean, it was certain areas in New York, but that's what got me really ticked off. When I realized that how many people even understand. You might see one picture of these huge tents, but do you realize how many there are and where they are? Anybody that even lives here, do you know about them? That's where you're putting everybody. Like.
Yeah. It's like even after the floods, even after the floods. Or look at everybody in the Superdome and all that other kind of stuff, and look what happened with that in New Orleans. It wasn't those people's fault, and they got shipped all over the place, and families, were messed up, and these kids again thrown in whatever school districts, and it just occurred. Oh my God!
It happens.
Yeah. I'm really upset about the camp over there in Texas, in Carter County. They're going to reopen that camp this summer. There's still one child missing. You're going to let those people come back to this camp that you're going to rebuild, right? And you can put those kids out there in that same river, the river over there, that there's still a child missing that could be in that river that they've never located again. I mean, this one missing child. I am so disgusted by that. They should take this camp and just move it.
You would
because
think.
This is not the first time this has happened. Back in 1987, 10 people, right, from the church camp. Because when this river floods like this, it happens so fast. And this was in the middle of the night this time, which made it even worse. The water's getting out faster than the water's coming in faster than the people can get out, in other words. In this case, because it was the middle of the night and it was happening, people thought it was just rain. They didn't realize how bad it really was. But the 1987 has happened. It's happened here this time. I mean, when's it going to happen again? Move the whole camp. Why would anybody build a camp in a low-lying area by a river that is a flood zone? What the heck is wrong with these people? They knew it was a flood zone. They knew it was a possibility. They knew what happened. That bothers the shit out of me. I don't understand.
We do that a lot, though. I mean, look at, I know my aunt, they've gone through like 3 rebuilds on their house that's along the Jersey Shore. Like, what is wrong with us in general? Like, I don't understand how you put stuff, camps, homes, in, like, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
If you notice, there are homes literally falling because the shoreline is disintegrating. Basically, the water's coming further up. There's houses just being washed under them. They just all of a sudden fall off into the ocean. The people are having to take a boat to get off to their house that's on stilts because the shoreline has moved. Like the ocean is come closer to the. It's kind of crazy how that happens. I don't get it, but when I saw that, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! Don't they realize that's going to happen?" And people are talking about, well, if they would have done this or they would have done it, because they're clearing out. There's something they're clearing out around the shoreline that used to be like this. It kept the water where it was, but as they cleaned this out, it's changed the shoreline basically, and it's caused this water to. It's a whole. I need to reread that to understand how it happens. But basically, there are people that their houses now like they got to take a boat to get to it. That makes no sense either. But that's why they were built on stilts, right? It's just crazy, all these funky things. People are like, oh well, it's the heating, it's the oceans are heating up. It's this, that, the other. No, it's not. It's the building. It's the building practices. It's not the ocean's fault. It's the building practices because people want to live on the beach or whatever. I don't get it. I just don't get it a lot. Anyway, I was trying to look up this camp thing, Kirk County Camp. Hang on a second, guys. Camp Mystic. Okay, now you do realize that I don't know if y'all know this or not, but this Camp Mystic. She goes, it needs to be, Women's Warrior says, she needs to be managed. It doesn't have to affect the people from that county. Maybe all countries should divide and support and take so many. Yeah, you're right about that. Maybe there's some way to do that. But you know what? Those people would not be leaving their own country if their own country gave a crap about them and actually provided for them and let them have a life there instead of being it starts at home. Like, what do we always say? It starts at home. Everything starts at home. Period. It starts at home. But I was going to say on Camp Mystic, now, people always talk about, well, it's the wealthy camps. Well, yes, it costs a lot of money to go there. And yes, pretty much it's been, it's always been that way. Okay. There are very, very famous people whose children go to this camp, this girls' camp. But still, no matter where it is, no matter who goes to it, whatever, it should not ever they should not be put in that position again to go through this again. Because Camp Mystic was started in 1926 by EJ or Doc Stewart, and it was just for girls. It was a church camp. So let's see, this was 1926. I'm gonna tell you how many times it's flooded. In 1932, there was a flood, but they had no fatalities. Same thing. This is Camp Mystic, same place. 1939, somebody else purchased the camp. It was in continuous operation, except during 1943 to 45, it was leased to the federal government for a rehabilitation for the veterans, for veterans. Okay. Then let's see. At least 27. Okay. There has been in 1987 there was a flood, also claiming lives at the church camp. All right. So I mean, this has just been a continuous problem in that area of these floods, and they're still letting they're still going to open that camp back up and have children go there again. My child would not go there, period. Anyway, that's enough about that. Anyway, well, I guess we've been on here 3 hours. I never go that long. I'm sorry. And my poor friend Sprinkle, she doesn't feel good. She told me she had a bad headache. And I said, well, we don't really stay on very long. If you feel like you can't stay, it's okay. You can go rest. And here we've been talking for 3 hours. It's quite amazing, really. Anyway, I think we'll just call it a night and let y'all go. I'm going to change the title because it's not really about dogs and the zodiac signs. It's about everything. We just talked about every damn thing, by God.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Let's call it that. We're going to call it the smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Woman's Warrior says, Mama, you've seen the firsthand. What do you think would work with the immigration? How could it be managed better? That's a big question, Woman's Warrior. I don't know. Mama, you want to take a stab at that?
Yeah, can you hear me? Because it was all static
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah. We can hear.
Well, I think really they need to just go back to stuff that helps, the sponsorships, making it easier to become a citizen, not saying that we have all these opportunities and all these things that aren't available. That's a big start. Because I'm telling you, if you really go down and you talk to people, it's truly shocking how many thought that they would have all of these opportunities that don't exist.
I agree with you on that because they're told, wherever country they're coming from, they're told, hey, listen, in America, blah, blah, blah. So they start coming the journey over here. They start coming. They get here, and yes, night, guys. Talk to you later. Thank you, Elizabeth. Have a good evening. So glad you stopped by. Thank you. Appreciate you. Elizabeth Berman's
Good night.
Now. Night. So they're promised all these things by everybody. Their government tells them this, their friends tell them this, their family tells them this, and so they come over here and they expect that. Oh yeah, and they are given that to begin with, and then boom, it's taken away. They don't know they don't have any skills to turn this around. Themselves, there's nothing they can do. That's what sucks about it. And that's why I'm going to go back to Blackmail in America. Let me go back and find this because our good friend Elizabeth Bergman is talking about this. She's watching something. It's called, hang on, guys. It's Whitney Webb's One Nation Under Blackmail. Let me show this right here for us. So I'm going to go back and watch this, and we can talk about this on another night if you want to, because basically it is that. It basically is that. I agree with her 100%. But anyway, well.
What is it called?
Okay. It's Whitney Webb's One Nation Under Blackmail. It has to do with all this immigration and yeah. I want to watch that, and we'll talk about it one day. We can just come back on and talk about that. I think that'd be great. So anyway.
Well, thank you for having me up. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate it.
And I hope you feel better.
Me too. I hope Sprinkle don't his headache. Don't go. Sprinkle, are you off tomorrow?
I am not off tomorrow.
Shit, you need to go to bed, honey.
Tomorrow is my Friday.
Oh, okay. All right. But she's in California. So she's it is 12 o'clock here. It's probably 1 something where Mommin is, and it is what, 9 something where you're at? Is that right?
It's 10.
It's 10? Okay. See, I always get that wrong. I'm so bad at that. I always get that wrong.
10.
Yeah, it's 12 here. I'm Central.
We're going to have to get, next time we come, we'll get Woman's Warrior to come up and talk
2 hours
to us about.
from you.
Okay. Why don't we do this? We'll come live another time and do a panel, and we'll get Woman's Warrior to come up as well, and we'll talk about abuse of women, because I think she knows a lot about that, and we can all kind of talk about what we know about it and just discuss how abused women are treated in the criminal justice system, because let's face it, you're still not treated as a first-class citizen as an abused woman. What's the first thing they think? Well, what did you do? Think about it, y'all. Think about it. I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to think about that. We'll talk about that one time. What y'all think? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's terrible.
Sounds good.
Because it's always like that. What did you do? Bullshit, people. All right, guys. Good night. Thanks for coming up. I really appreciate seeing all y'all. Hope y'all have a great day tomorrow. And I'm probably going to come back live on Monday when my husband goes back to work. Oh, he's been off for a few days. So anyway, I'm going to quit talking about that. Good night, guys. Oh.